special presentation of the World Baseball Classic. Yesterday, Team Cuba entered Pool 2 in San Diego undefeated and confident. Team Japan said no dice with a convincing shutout victory. A Cuban loss tonight would be devastating to this baseball country and their legacy of 70 years of excellence in international competition. Mexico advanced to this round with a victory on their home turf, but were defeated yesterday by a fundamentally sound South Korean team. They could not match the deep shots hit by the razor-sharp Koreans, who went on to win it 8-2. So we start to eliminate. The fate of Mexico and Cuba is the same. Win you stay, lose, adios, amigos. And we welcome you to San Diego, California. It is an elimination game to be played here in this beautiful city at Petco Park. Some folks are going to get to sign some autographs tomorrow, while some others are just going to head home because one of these teams is going to be out of it tonight. So a very meaningful game because these are two teams who both thought they had a legitimate shot, as it'll be Cuba taking on Mexico here in Pool 1 play. This is day 2 of games played here. With Jose Mota, I'm Gary Thorne. Welcome, everybody. Since 1939 for Cuba, they have never finished lower than 3rd in any international tournament. If they lose this game, they finish 7th. From Mexico, this World Baseball Classic has been a roller coaster, up and down. It's either big scores they win or big scores they lose.
And the last time these two teams met, it was like the ultimate blessing put on by Cuba over and for also with Mexico. And even though Mexico started very well, Freddy Sandoval hits a long home run in the rain. It was Frederick Cepeda. Who else to come through and really seal the deal for Team Cuba? They went undefeated. Now it's out here in round 2. The graphic says the whole story because it's another early termination rule. They pounded 16-4, 3 home runs and 13 RBIs by the guys in the meat of the order. And the Mexican bullpen, again, Gary, this has been a story a long time. They just cannot get many outs.
Well, both of these teams have got the opportunity to drive the long ball and score runs this game. So starting pitching, as always in baseball, is vital. How about for the team we're going to see out there trying to win this for Mexico?
I think if Vinny Castillo would have drawn this, he said, let me pull a card out. It's Jorge Campillo. He was just unbelievable, so sharp with the off-speed stuff against a very powerful Australian team. He gave up a hit in every single inning, but he also found that one pitch he needed to get people out off the end of the bat, fooling them totally, pleasing the crowd back in Photo Sol. And this is a very experienced player, pitcher, a nice surprise for the Braves in 25 starts, solid record in Atlanta. In order to stay, you have to pitch well. Well, he has to pitch well here for Vinny Castillo.
Well, for Cuba, they come into this ball game with a leading average of all of the teams that have played in the World Baseball Classic. However, they are also coming off a shutout.
You know, Cuba is a kind of team that you have to understand that they're so emotional. And I think yesterday they ran into who? Their nemesis in the World Baseball Classic. His name is Daisuke Matsuzaka. But they're not defeated. I mean, talking to them before the game, they said, we just did not get it done yesterday. We lost a battle. We have now lost a war. And the thing is this, top 3 guys in their order got 6 base hits. The rest of the lineup, 2 for 21. They need more than that, especially from the top. A couple of changes today we'll see from Eugenio Velez, but more than anything, more firepower and not to be intimidated.
And that ball game was the first time in the 2 World Baseball Classics that the Team Cuba had been shut out. So you better believe they are anxious. And folks, you all know you do not want to go back to Cuba having finished 7th in the World Baseball Classic because you may be unemployed when you get back home. So we'll see how this one goes. A big game, an elimination game. Somebody's in, somebody out. Mexico, Cuba, the fans on hand. They'll be celebrating. We'll get ready for baseball coming up shortly. And let's Let's start rolling as we're ready to go here in this elimination game in San Diego. And by the luck of the draw, which came before the tournament started, Cuba will be the visiting team here. This is a lineup that is hitting over 350 as a team. But again, they are coming off a shutout. And Yoenis Cespedes has been a leader for them. He is tied for the lead in hits in this World Baseball Classic. 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 4 extra base hits for him. We'll see a couple of changes in that lineup as well.
You know, the last time they faced Campillo, there was a different lineup. And behind Campillo, you have to catch the ball. He's going to pitch to contact. He's an experienced pitcher who will keep the ball down and balance, contrast, Gary, the whole thing for him.
How about the defense we're going to see behind him?
Well, look at Precicio, late addition for this round. Hairston with great speed in center field. Valenzuela also a late addition. Solid all around. And the anchor in the infield, Jorge Cantu, along with Adrian Gonzalez. Ojeda behind the plate calls a very good game. That is why he gets a call ahead of Rob Barajas. Jorge Campillo, 3/4 slot, a couple of surgeries against Australia. His last outing 4 2/3. And I was mentioning, Gary, he gave up a hit in every single inning. But it didn't matter at all. It seems like he needed somebody on in order to be good.
Some pitchers are like that. You probably don't want to do that with this team from Cuba. Cuba and Puerto Rico had been the undefeated teams coming into the second round. Cuba has suffered their loss, of course, 3-1 with that shutout by Japan. They are the visiting team. Leonis Martin will lead it off. He is going to be playing center field in this ball game. Veteran right-hander, 30 years old, delivers the off-speed breaking ball in for a strike, and we are underway. And an 0-1 count. Martin has had only 2 at-bats so far in this World Baseball Classic, and he is 0 for 2. Left-hander with speed at the top of the order, shows bunt and takes it down low, 1-1.
Last time they saw Campillo, they had Yoenis Cespedes, who was playing center field leading off, and he led off with a triple. So now you're going to play off of perhaps a change in things, get more lefties in there.
And getting on top in this ball game could really matter because both of these teams a little fragile psyche-wise. That one hits the bat as he tries to lay it down the third base side, and he'll fall behind on the count here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Both need a little jolt of positiveness in this game because both have been rocked a little bit by what's happened here in San Diego.
That's why I think you strike early tonight, and you might roll from that early start all the way through the 9th inning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a team that gets going with their bats early in this game because both have such power up and down the lineup will really have a chance to take charge of the ball game. Not good about here with a 2-strike count. Misses down low with it. Martin, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And keep it in mind, Gary, too, that they're both coming up that first round in Mexico City where everything that was elevated became a home run.
Yeah, this is a ballpark that favors the pitchers. Dramatically so. Set up on the outside corner, 2-2 delivery, and he got him, and that will matter. Bill Miller, the home plate umpire, starts this ball game by giving the pitcher that black part of the plate, and a K for Campillo.
And boy, does Ojeda do a good job here framing. Look at this. Nice stiff arm, no trying to jerk it into the strike zone. Very consistent. If Campillo keeps getting that call, it could be a long night for Cuba.
Okay, Campillo went 8-7 with Atlanta in 39 games pitched, including 25 starts last year. And this pitch will be taken for a strike. So he started out throwing the ball across the plate. Hector Olivera. Olivera is going to be starting at second base in this ball game. The 1 home run in the 2 games that he has played in. He's in that number 2 hole. A little breaking ball that will miss outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Olivera. Both of these teams have also had a bit of a problem with patience at the plate. These teams like to hit lineups of guys who are used to hitting, and they have gone after some pitches that weren't there. Cantu at third base, Adam ball, 2 down. Right at him.
It hurt a little bit, and he knows playing third base with Campillo on the mound, your shortstop there would be telling you when that off speed is coming. Hanging breaking ball, solid swing by Olivera. Cantu right on it. Ouch.
If he'd had to move for that, he never would have got it. And that ball was stung. 2 down and nobody on here in the first inning. Campillo's got a shot to get out of this one quickly in the first. That is important also for both of these starters to be able to go deep into the ball game to help their team out, because these bullpens have had to have been used and are a little short in this ball game tonight as far as effectiveness is concerned. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Enriquez will take it outside.
I would say, Gary, that Vinny Castilla would like to forget that path, that trail he's pretty much created here at Petco Park, making that trip to the mound.
He's worn a pretty good line out there with all the pitching changes he's made. 2-0 delivery on the way, and the pitch will be taken inside. And Enrique gets ahead on the count. You've got Cepeda waiting on deck, who among all the hitters has probably had the best World Baseball Classic so far. He's putting up tremendous numbers. You don't want to get to him with somebody on. 3-0 delivery. It is taken, and it is in there for a strike. Bill Miller of the Major Leagues, the home plate umpire. Paul Hybem, who's working at first base, international umpire. Hunter Wendelstedt at second, Major League umpire. And Carlos Ray, international umpire at third base. 3-1 delivery on the way, and it's 3-2. So Campillo's battle back from the 3-0 count.
Carlos Ray from Puerto Rico and Paul Hybem from Australia.
Did not have the international umpires in the 06 World Baseball Classic, the first one. But they are taking up half of the action in the games being played this season. See if Campillo can come back and get him. 3-2. No, and he didn't. So there's the first walk of the ball game that comes with 2 down, and a dangerous one here in the first inning.
It's a good at bat. Cepeda usually hits third in the lineup, but I think Eugenio Velez is trying to get something going by mixing things in. And why not try to get Cepeda some at bats, as you mentioned, with people on base? But I don't know how he lit out that last pitch. I mean, Enriquez, that was a very good eye.
Yep, that's a good at bat, and that's what we were talking about with teams being patient here to try and generate some offense. 2 down. Here is Cepeda. Frederick Cepeda with a runner at first base, and he takes it inside for a ball. He is 4th in average among all hitters in the World Baseball Classic. He is tied for 1st in home runs and in hits. So you better be conferencing, because if you make a mistake here, you are going to pay for it.
And psychologically, anything that happens early in this ballgame, where there's a good play, a nice hit, some runs, or a bad play, it could be base running, it could be an error, it could be catastrophic for either team.
3 home runs in this World Baseball Classic for Cepeda, and he was going for another one right there and doesn't catch up to it, and a 1-ball 1-strike count. When these teams met in the first game in the first round, Cepeda went 3 for 5 in the ball game against Mexico. He had a home run and 3 RBIs in that game. And Pio's going to miss up high with it, and a 2-ball 1-strike count.
We saw the unusual lead by the runner first base, Michel Enriquez, and how both of his feet are pointing towards second base. If you pause enough, you might get him. It's hard to get back when you're pointing that way.
He's in a runner's stance, like a track style. And you can see how careful Campillo is being here. 3-ball 1-strike count on Cepeda. Yulaneski Gurriel is on deck, who's considered to be the best player on this team. Look at that stance. Runner goes, and he walked him. So after getting the first 2 outs, Campillo has walked 2. And that will give Gurriel the opportunity to pick up an RBI if he can get a base hit here with 2 down.
For a team that ran into a buzzsaw called Daisuke Matsuzaki yesterday by not even having that many people aboard, you think they were looking forward to this opportunity this early? I do.
Yep. Gurriel, 2 on and 2 down, batting .313 in the Classic. Up the middle, and a base hit. Pops into center field. Enrique will make the turn. Here's the throw by Hairston. It is not in time. And the irony of that play is that Sandoval, the second baseman, had gone over looking for a pickoff, and the ball was actually hit right at him, but it took a hop over his head. Cuba gets on the board, 1-0 lead.
Here's a play. Daylight, come over here, but the timing is not right, and then the hop right over the mound is correctly so. For a guy that doesn't walk a lot of people, Campillo has 2 walks after 2 outs, and then you see a hop like this, and something tells you it might be your night.
Wow, that's a big hurt. And an RBI for Gurriel. Great chance for Sandoval at second base. He was right where he wanted to be for that because he'd gone over, and then the ball ends up going over his head. Gurriel will pick up RBI number 6 in this World Baseball Classic as he brought home Enrique. 2 on, runners at first and second, still with 2 down. And the pitch is taken for a strike. Cespedes, who we highlighted in the open to the broadcast, he is the other player tied for first in hits with 9, batting .529 with that 9 for 17. Breaking ball turned that one over, down and into him, and a 1-ball 1-strike count.
For Cuba, this is nothing new. I made reference to what Eugenio Velez was commenting before the game. We lost a battle. We're still here. The war is not over.
They're a very experienced team in international play, even though they've got some youngsters on it. The off-speed pitch is going to be taken up high. Cuba's not going to go away. Leading all tournament teams with that .356 batting average and a .682 slugging percentage. Yet shut out in their last ball game. Believe me, they were shocked. 2-1 delivery. That'll be fouled back off the end of the bat. 2-ball 2-strike count.
You get that sense of urgency from the at-bats that we've seen so far. Remember, there's a line drive to the third baseman cup, but the urgency is also in that dugout. Everybody is out there in that front step clapping.
Well, we said it would not be pleasant to go back to Cuba losing tonight, to be eliminated, and for the first time since 1939 finish lower than third in an international tournament. That would not be good. 2-2 delivery on the way, chopped down to third base. That is a fair ball. Steps on the bag, and that'll get the out. But a run in, just 1 hit to our left on base. Cuba takes the lead. We'll take a look at the lineup for Mexico coming up. So Mexico finds themselves down before they get to the plate. They are 2-3 in the World Baseball Classic. You see a lineup with some very big offensive numbers, though. And Karim Garcia, they need his bat to be solid. He's had 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. Former major league player who's now playing in the Korean baseball organization. Freddie Sandoval and Robles at the top of the order will give them some speed if they can get on base and maybe try and run a little bit.
Defensively behind Jorge Luis Vera. Solid all around now. Gurriel goes from second to third. This is just to accommodate the lineup offensively, which obviously now affects the defense. But Rolando Mourinho behind the plate instead of the very animated and the vocal leader, Ariel Pestano.
Big task for Vera, a veteran, 37 years old. Sandoval, Freddie Sandoval will take it for a strike. Sandoval 4 for 10. He's had a home run and an RBI. Leadoff batter for Mexico on this highly potent team. We'll see how Vera does. Trying to shut them down early. 0-1 count. Turns it over and misses outside with it. Vera picked up a win against South Africa in this World Baseball Classic. He went 6 innings, gave up just 1 walk, struck out 6, and did not surrender a run in the ball game. 1-ball 1-strike pitch and fouled straight back.
He was sharp. He was just basing everything off his breaking ball. You know, you talk about a guy establishing a fastball to get everything else going. He established a slider to get everything else going, which is a curveball, a changeup, and occasionally a fastball. But in those 6 innings, he went 61 pitches.
You get 85 here in this second round of the World Baseball Classic before you have to come out of the ball game pitch wise. 1-2 delivery on the way. Pulled a little string on him right there and gets the strikeout. Sandoval going after one that may have been a little high, and there's one away.
We talked about what he did against South Africa. There are the numbers. A very inexperienced team in South Africa. They finally got to him after a few innings, but he actually cruised and retired the first 11 consecutive batters before anybody did anything against him.
Now being asked to put this team into another day's play and be a savior for them.
There's no pressure from the island.
Absolutely none.
Nah.
Mexico has actually already had 2 elimination game wins. They had to get a win against South Africa, 14-3 in that first round, and then 16-1 against Australia, as Mexico has faced elimination twice already and survive. Strike taken. Robles playing at shortstop. There are the numbers he has put up. He went 1 for 3 in the first meeting of these two teams in this World Baseball Classic in the first round. 0-1 slap foul. Very little breeze here tonight. Weather's beautiful, clear skies. Temperature will be down in the mid-60s and get a little bit lower as we go along tonight.
Watch Mourinho how far off the plate he's sitting, and watch how nicely executed with that tailing fastball that pitch goes. If it catches more of the plate, Gary, we're talking line drive base hit left field.
Put that one right on the money, right where he wanted it. See where he sets up again. You watch him behind the plate to see if they're moving inside, outside. 2-strike count. He wants to stay away and does.
Well, remember, these are the Cuban big leaguers, even though they're amateur players, different standards. But Mourinho behind the plate, he's close to being 40 years old. So he goes, hey, if I can get that corner, let me go a little bit more. More like Javi Lopez at those
exactly, yeah. Get the umpire to go with me. 1-2 delivery. That'll be slapped down the line and foul. One of the things you see from this Cuban team defensively, you look at the second baseman and shortstop and how far back they play. They are back further than any other team plays defensively. Cuba makes a lot of adjustments in the course of a game, in the course of a tournament. They love the strategy part of the game, and they're always doing something to try and affect the play. 1-2 delivery on the way, and the slider is taken inside. 2-2.
Here's something else good you mentioned that, because if you look at the infielders, usually the outfielders will follow defensively where the infielders are, but the third baseman is still close enough, Gurriel, to the line where you think he's defending a right-handed hitter.
Yeah. And there's always a reason. Nothing happens on this ball club without a reason. 2-2 delivery. And that'll be poked at just to keep the at-bat alive.
You know, they may not talk, Gary, about having the video advancements or all the advanced scouting, but there's something in which they play with instinct. They watch batting practice, and they study a lot of games. Whatever works, modern or not, use it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, their record at international play certainly seems to say it works. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Robles waiting at the plate, and another one that comes inside. Now Robles working deep here. He played AAA ball with the Philadelphia Phillies organization this past year. Hit just .208. Played in only 14 games. Was a step below that in AA ball, where he hit .256 for most of the season. Not a lot of power. In 3 years, he's only had 5 home runs playing in the major leagues, professional organizations. 3-2 delivery to him. He's putting a pretty good show on right here as he is making Vera throw some pitches. And Vera keeps working him inside and out, and he keeps fouling him off either the end of the bat or off the handle. Stays at 3-2.
Robles is a tough out. A little bit more speed, first step quickness. He'd be an excellent big league utility man.
Yep. 3-2 will be coming again from Vera. Off speed again towards the seats. And again, a foul ball.
You said something so interesting in regards to how everything has a purpose for Cuba. But the first time we saw Vera on the mound, he was trying to imitate every move of El Duque Hernandez. It's like today the purpose is not to be El Duque. Maybe it's closer to be me, myself.
Does he has that kick that looks just like him, doesn't he?
Oh.
He pulls that leg up and in that windup. Here's the 3-2 delivery, third time, and that one down the line, right field in the corner is playable. Pettis is there to put it away. Robles is out of there, and as my good friend Ralph Kiner, the former great home run hitter with the Pittsburgh Pirates and a member of the Hall of Fame, used to say, don't tell me it was a good at bat unless you get on.
Well,
I had to think, you know, Ralph, you may be right about that. You may take, even if you foul off 15 pitches, you have helped your team by forcing the pitcher to throw, but if you don't get on, Ralph said, that's not a good at bat.
How about this? It's a good at bat to build off of.
There you go.
Let me use that one.
That's a very positive positive outlook there. The half full glass. 2 down. Adrian Gonzalez playing at first base in the ball game. He's had a fine World Baseball Classic, batting .316, 6 for 19.
What I can tell you is that if we had been still up in Photo Sol at 7,300 feet above sea level, it's a 1-1 ball game right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's why this ballpark's so tough to hit in. And even more so early in the year when the weather's a little damp, it's a little cool. Ball doesn't particularly travel well. Fastball is going to be in there for a strike. Gonzalez has got a couple of home runs, and he leads this ball club with 7 RBIs. Mexico has actually been outscored in the World Baseball Classic 41-39, actually 42-39 now. Yet here they are playing in the second round. Pitch is taken inside. The reason for that is that they've either won by a lot or lost by a lot. They've lost games of 17-7. They've won 16-1. They lost 16-4 to this Cuban team. I mean, you talk about having some ups and downs in a short period of time in a tournament. Mexico has done that. Gonzalez perfectly positioned. Oliveira makes the flip. He had moved way over. So Vera had to throw some pitches, but he retires the side in order after 1. Cuba leads it 1-0. We talked about the umpires, and that's not one of them. That is one of them. You can tell by the way they're dressed, can't you? So you see in this World Baseball Classic, the umpires from the major leagues will always be at home plate and second base, and the international umpires will always be at first and third. That was the agreement they reached in order to get the international umpires involved. We go to the second inning. That'll be fouled off on a big time cut as the Cuban catcher stands in. Rolando Marino. Jose was talking. He's 37 years old. That's a veteran player. And to have the knees still be able to do the job behind the plate, congratulations.
You look at him, he's a 37 catcher. Look at that body. He looks like he's 25.
He does. Great shape. The 0-1 count to him. Swung on and missed. Good tailing pitch down and away. He has actually put up better numbers in Cuba in the leagues that he plays in there as he's gotten older. He had 14 home runs, 49 RBIs when Cuba stopped their season, which they are playing. They stopped their in-country league in order to come to the World Baseball Classic, and then they will go back and pick up playing in their league in Cuba.
February 8th, they said this is all now about our national team preparing to go to the Classic.
An advantage when you can do that. The breaking ball that just missed. He had him fooled as Campillo will take the count to 1-2.
Which really translates to, if there's a team that's in mid-season form coming into this Classic, it's Cuba.
Exactly. They're in game condition halfway through their season. Oppose that to the U.S. team, which doesn't even get together a couple of weeks before they play. Bat goes flying on the strikeout. Campillo's got a couple now, and one away here in the second inning. Trying to wipe out his own teammates over there.
Just make sure guys are paying attention. We saw this happen yesterday a couple of times. One of them was Pestano. Oh, this one gets the top of the dugout with some skids. Watch out, Skip.
Weren't a lot of smiles on that either. Here's Leslie Anderson. Anderson takes the off-speed pitch. He's playing at first base. One down and nobody on. Limited at bats, only 3. He is getting the start in this ball game. Good defense. Better defensive player probably overall than his offensive abilities.
That's why they want him playing more towards this ballpark and its needs, ahead of Mayeta, who is a better offensive player.
1-1 delivered to Anderson. He'll chop that one down to first base. Gonzalez gloves it and takes it to the bag. 2 down. So Campillo, as he did in the first inning, has retired the first 2. But Campillo got in trouble with a couple of walks and then the Gurriel single after those 2 outs.
You know, it doesn't matter how much experience you have. I think Campillo was a victim of the jitters and trying to do too much after those 2 walks.
How about this? Venezuela has picked up the victory, shutting out Puerto Rico by a score of 2-0. So they're going to move on to the semifinal and final round in Los Angeles now that they're 2-0. Parent bunting for a base hit, got the third baseman back. Cantu's throw and got him. Nice play. But he can too on a nice charge, do or die. And Campillo retires the side in order. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. Cuba leads it 1-0. Here at Petco Park, we have talked about the fact that pitchers have the advantage. It's not that the distances are necessarily that much longer than some of the yards. They're very fair. Not a short yard at any point. It's just that the ball doesn't carry as well here.
It looks so cozy, huh? 336 and 322 down the lines. But let me tell you, there's so many complaints year after year here from big league players about the ball not carrying with this, because of this breeze.
Just dies out there. And that is going to be taken down low for a ball. Cantu with the fine play at third base will lead it off here. Garcia and then Hairston are due up. Cantu went 0 for 4 in the first game played against Cuba in this World Baseball Classic. He's hitting .318. Takes the pitch up high, 7 for 22 with a home run and 5 RBIs, and batting in the cleanup spot. Mexico down 1-0. Bottom half of the second inning, with Mexico being the home team here in this game. One of these teams will move on and one will go home. Down to third and foul. 2-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, we talk about the dimension and how tough it is to hit home runs here, but consider the weather and the ocean breeze coming off the Pacific. But for the pitchers, they stay fresh here for a long time because of these nice conditions here in San Diego.
Very cool. You see the breeze just gently blowing a little bit in right now, but it's not enough to affect the ball hit up in the air at the moment anyway. 2-1 delivery. Cantu will take it outside. Now we should mention, talking about pitching, that Cuba's got a problem in this game. They misinterpreted the rule on how many pitches could be thrown before a pitcher has to have a day off. They thought you could throw 30. Not true. You can throw 29. If you reach 30, you have to take a day off. Swung on and missed. And yesterday they have 3 pitchers who are not going to be eligible to pitch. You see the pitch counts yesterday against Japan. So you've got Gonzalez. Maya cannot pitch. Their starter Chapman is not going to be able to pitch because they just miscounted and made a mistake on it. And as a result, their bullpen is shortened here in this game. Fouls it away. 3-2.
There was a total misinterpretation of the rules because they saw the number 30 written and they figured, okay, that's the cutoff. But the real rule is 30 or more. In other words, stay under 30 had to be clarified, and those guys are not eligible.
And they actually had a meeting. Gene Orza from the Major League Baseball Players Association met with the team from Cuba to discuss the matter, along with representatives of Major League Baseball. Swung on and got him. Boy, there's a nasty pitch from Vera. Ate him up inside. 2 Ks on the first 4 batters faced.
I was telling you how he kind of bases everything off of his breaking ball to prepare hitters to be late and slow their bat down with his fastball. He did it exactly right, as Cantu was fooled by a fastball that got to him too quick. So here's the deal, Gary. You saw the number 30 in that graphic twice. It's a clear indication that it was ever present in his mind. Okay, that is my cutoff. He actually went out to the mound to take a pitcher out in the middle of an at-bat for that reason.
Twice. Yeah, I mean, they had a reason why they were taking the pitchers out. It's just that they didn't understand what the rule was. Cuba didn't, and as a result, their bullpen will be shortened up. So they really need a start from Vera. They understood when they talked today before the game the situation, and no protest or anything. Velez said we made a mistake. It's clear what it says. Grounded to second base. Oliveira. Boy, Oliveira's been positioned perfectly on 2 ground balls so far in this ball game. Moved way over towards first, and he will get Karim Garcia.
Look where he starts, because he's following the pattern of the pitches off the end of the bat. The minute you see that, you have to start your step. First step, anticipate going to your left. The other impressive aspect here, we've seen this type of ground ball twice now, Gary. You see the first baseman, he knows exactly where his second baseman is. In other words, he makes no attempt to go after that ball.
Yep, stayed right, goes right to the bag on anything hit to his right. So Vera's got 2 down and nobody on. Scott Hairston coming up, playing in center field in this ball game. Hairston has drawn 8 walks in this World Baseball Classic. He's on top of the pile, leads everybody in that department. One of the few guys who stood in there and forced the pitchers to put it in the zone before he'd swing, and as a result a solid .357 average with a 5 for 14. But a very impressive on base percentage because of the walks he's picked up. Scott Hairston on a swing and a miss and an 0-2 count. Vera dropping down a little bit that time on the third base side.
2 different speeds on his breaking ball. This one he takes more off of it by staying back more. Little shorter, little slower.
0-2 count on Hairston. Outfield's mostly straight away on him and got him. See Marino come out of there behind the plate. He wasn't even waiting for the call from the home plate umpire.
He's no espresso.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 inning, 3 strikeouts. Cuba leads. Gary Thorne, Jose Mota with you, and we are in San Diego as we go to the third inning, and Leonis Martin will lead it off. 1-0 lead for Cuba, picking up the run with 2 down first inning. Gurriel got the RBI base hit, couple of walks that set it up against Jorge Campillo. Martin only 20 years old, very fast, good bunter. You saw him show bunt right there. He's hitting .320 in the Cuban League when they went to their break. 1-0 delivery. Does not show bunt, takes it up high, 2-0.
Well, you talk about his speed, and just trying to bunt is so important to him. And we hit .398, but all year long he was pretty much at .400 until the last couple of games.
Campillo, oh, he ran out of the batter's box that time. That would have been interesting if he'd gotten a bat on it. He might have been out of the box. And a 2-1 strike count.
Please, I don't think Eugenio Villas wants more interpretation of the rules here.
Wow. Here's the 2-1 delivery to him, and that is taken for a strike. Campillo had an 8-pitch second inning after a 25-pitch first inning. He'd like to continue what he was doing in the second. He's retired the last 4 batters faced, and he wants to keep Martin off the base paths, and he's not gonna. That is a base hit to lead off single here in the third inning. And Campillo now is going to have to keep an eye over there on Martin. Good at bat for him. Be the second hit for Cuba.
Mourinho, as we talked about, jumped so quickly after that third strike. Look at this. Oops, Cuban coffee call. Let's go.
That's as fast as I've ever seen a catcher head to the dugout.
And it smells good.
Ooh, ah. And it's cold. Here's Oliveira. Let's see how they play this. The number 2 hitter lined out hard to Cantu at third base. Cantu's going to play even with a bag. Timeout taken at first. I think he's trying to make sure Martin making sure he knows the signs. They test to see, and the hitter does not move his hands up on the bat to indicate whether he will be bunting or not here.
Gary, this is a great running track. They grip very well, and then we'll pay attention to how close the cutoff of the grass is to the baselines.
Runner goes, hit and run on, perfectly executed, right behind the shortstop who went to cover the bag. Hairston will get it back in. Put that one in your how to do book on the hit and run. Oliveira, first and third, nobody out.
Well, put some pressure on the defense, and now on cross coverage, when things are going well, I am telling you, something's going on with Cuba. But watch how close this cutoff is. It'll make the runner run in the infield grass. He looks in, as he should, on a hit and run. The shortstop is covering, which is the right play when you anticipate a hit and run. It just didn't work for you.
Great work by Oliveira to handle a bat right there. 3 hits for Cuba, first and third, nobody out. Enriquez at the plate, drew a walk. He has scored the lone run in the ball game so far. .438 average and a 3 for 4 with a double and 3 RBIs against Mexico in their first meeting. Big chance here now for Cuba. Campillo will try and hold the runner. Oliveira, he could be a threat to take off here. They don't want to take the bat of Enrique's hand because he's got 3 doubles, 7 hits, home run. And he'll take it to second. There's 1 and no play anywhere else. Big out. Sandoval, that one right at him.
You talk about their speed with Martin or Martin on the top, Oliveira second, and also Perret hitting 9th. That's exactly how he has designed it, to have those 3, 9, 1 and 2 with the speed and experience facing Campillo tonight.
Campillo's got a bear down, 1 away, still runners on at first and third. Cuba looking to extend a 1-0 lead they have at the moment. Better it's Cepeda, the 28-year-old switch hitter. He had a big classic in 06 when he hit 385. He's hitting 563 in this one. 1 down. And the breaking ball misses inside.
Seems like it doesn't matter, Gary, who he faces. Big leagues, South Africa, he finds a way to get it done. And yesterday against Matsuzaka, he stayed right in there. He's very consistent with his swings. Righty or lefty, BP or the game.
Tremendous bat, good power. Takes that one in the air to shallow center. And it falls in for a base hit. Throw will come through and be cut off. No, to the catcher. It'll be an RBI single. Sandoval at second and Hairston from center both gave chase. But it ended up in that Bermuda Triangle out there. And that will score Martin. And it is a 2-0 lead for Cuba.
Well, first of all, Harrison was playing very deep, and after a long swing, what happens is off the end of the bat, but sometimes you see the big swing from the slugger, and your first reaction is to go back. Actually, he started going sideways before he realizes, let me just try to keep it in front of me.
I was kind of surprised he threw through. He almost had a better chance at second base.
There it is. Big swing, end of the bat, another knock.
First and second. Only 1 down. A run in here in the third. 2 runs on 4 hits now for Cuba. Yeleneski Gurriel, who had an RBI with a base hit in the first inning. He's now had 5 RBIs in the 2 games he's played against Mexico in this World Baseball Classic. Slider is outside for a ball.
Always Gurriel under the watchful eye of his father, Lourdes Gurriel, hitting coach for Team Cuba and a superstar in his day. There's Lourdes.
He's got another superstar in his son.
And there's another one on the way.
Wow. 1-1 delivery on the way, and a chopper. Only play is going to be at first. Tag made. Oh, nice play. Freddie Sandoval had the presence of mind to put the tag on, and Cepeda, going from first base, let him do it. Ran right into him. So there's a big double play. Cuba adds a run on 3 hits and takes a 2-0 lead. Well, the fans of Cuba, something to cheer about, as Cuba's got the 2-0 lead going to the bottom of the third inning. But bear in mind that last play, not a good one by Frederic Cepeda, the base runner, who ran right into the second baseman and let Sandoval tag him and ended up a double play. That's a big play in what looked like it was going to be a bigger inning.
And it could be a bigger play as this game progresses. We'll see how it is. You cannot let that second baseman tag you in that situation, especially with a man at third.
Yeah. But a 2-0 lead. Mexico still looking for their first hit. Pitch is taken inside for a ball. Vera, there's the play.
I think one of the most surprised guys was Freddie Sandoval saying, oh, there's a runner in front of me.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your doing that. Preshishi at the plate, and he will foul that one off. Now Mexico's got to get on, get something started here, and get the juices flowing.
And a lot of times it takes the bottom of the order. Preshishi, very experienced Mexican League player. They wanted him on this team because he is tough, he's gritty, and he usually makes some things happen.
And wasn't supposed to be here. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Preshichi, a ground ball towards short. Perret gets the out. 1 away. Want to remind you, you can keep up with all the latest World Baseball Classic news and stats and visit the official online shop of the World Baseball Classic, www.worldbaseballclassic.com. That's where you'll find the largest selection of authentic World Baseball Classic items from all 16 countries, including clubhouse gear, t-shirts, jerseys, and much more, and it comes from the source. That's www.worldbaseballclassic.com. One away, 7 in a row retired by Vera. Mario Valenzuela stands in. We were talking about the fact Prischichi was not supposed to be here. Aurelio Durazo went out with an injury, and that's how he ended up making this ball club ultimately. Venezuela will take the pitch for a strike at the knees, starting in right field in this ball game.
Durazo fractured wrist, and also Alfredo Meziga had to fly to Florida after the first game they played in Mexico City, and he's out for what could be considered lengthy time, maybe about a month.
Venezuela will take that one for a strike. Interesting that one of the discussions that always goes on when the World Classic comes around, the ball clubs, Major League Baseball coaches, managers, GMs, their biggest concern, injuries. Guys coming to play and trying to do too much in the World Baseball Classic. 1-2 delivery. Venezuela will pop that one up right field. Cespedes is there. He's got it, and there are 2 down. You look at what's gone on so far in the World Baseball Classic in that regard. The MVP of the American League, Dustin Pedroia, has gone back to Boston. The National League batting champion, Chipper Jones, is out, is not going to play. Robinson Cano, Yankees second baseman, reliever Damaso Marte, they're both back with the Yankees because of potential injuries. Matt Lindstrom, shoulder problem with Florida, and Ryan Braun with Milwaukee with a problem. They've all gone back coming out of this with, you know, how bad are the problems? Pedroia says, don't worry about it. I'm all right. I'll be ready for opening day. The others are being examined. Most of them have had MRIs for muscle problems. Ojeda will take it down low.
Robinson Cano played for the Dominican. Marte played for the Dominican. Cano diagnosed with bursitis on his right shoulder. A little inflammation, but it's that fine line that you walk between, you're not going to take the field ever in March, no matter where you play, what scenario, and go halfway. It just doesn't happen.
Yep. Players can't do that. That's why they're at this level. Once the juices get flowing, competitive juices, they're going to play.
And the best example of it in back to 2006, Gary, is Luis Ayala, who actually got hurt during the World Baseball Classic, ended up having surgery. But you know what he said? I'm coming back well.
Yeah.
He's in that bullpen for Mexico.
Yep. Ojeda at the plate doing the catching, batting ninth. 1 hit, 10 at bats in the World Baseball Classic. Vera trying to go through the lineup, retiring 9 in a row.
There's no perfect answer going back to the injury situation. Guys are getting pulled out of spring training games right now with tightness.
Oh, yeah.
Guys are getting hurt in the weight room. Guys are getting hurt before getting to spring training.
I mean, the Classic is just, it's growing here in the second time around. It's generating interest, especially outside the U.S. Down to third. That is going to be a base hit. Ojeda will make the turn, looking to second base. Cepeda over to get it in the corner. And there's a double. And Mexico is off the snide and on the board with a hit.
It feels good for Miguel Ojeda. Only now 2 for 11 in this tournament. Got a pitch he could handle. But he was very quick as he explodes with those hips. And a fastball tailing in.
Let's see if they can take advantage of it now. Cuba got on the board in the first inning when they picked up through Gurriel a 2-out single and an RBI. Now the leadoff batter, Sandoval, will stand in with a runner on at second base and 2 out. Strikeout victim, his first time up. Sandoval hitting at .364 in the Classic. And he'll take the pitch inside for a ball. There are 2 down.
Good work, Gary. Vera at 88 is so free and easy. Practically sidearm when he wants to, high 3/4 when he wants to. Now we'll see what he goes to with people on base. This should give us a very good indication as to how he's going to work the rest of the night.
Here's the 1-0 delivery, and that will be taken outside for a ball. That left side wide open as they play the shortstop Perret way over towards second base. You see that hole where the shortstop would normally be. The outfield shaded a bit to right.
First 2 pitches, sinker. In other words, we're expecting Sandoval to roll over something.
2-0 count, 2 down, runner off second. Sandoval delivers one to right field, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Cespedes up with it. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. Run will count, and the out is at second base. Ojeda crossed before the third out was recorded, and that will put Mexico on the board. Good cutoff right here. This is why you hit the cutoff man. They weren't going to get the out at the plate. Mexico does get a run, 2-1. Jose, in baseball, you do not see the pitcher as the cutoff man very often.
No, you're supposed to be backing up home plate, but you know what happens if he's backing up home plate right now? The inning is still alive, but the cutoff man was the pitcher who takes care of the runner Sandoval at second base.
So they get the run, an RBI single for Sandoval, and then he's thrown out from the right fielder to the pitcher to the shortstop. 9-1-6 down to third. Cantu's got it. Cespedes is retired. 1 away here in the 4th inning.
And I'll tell you, it bothers me a lot when I see this at the big league level. Pitchers hanging around because they're frustrated around the mound. That's not your job. Your job is to be behind home plate, behind third base, taking care of things. But I'm not even going to defend this one. It just worked.
Yeah, it worked. Yeah. And very close to that run not crossing before they got the out. They almost got the out at second base before the runner crossed the plate. And if they had done that, the run would not have counted. If you get that third out before a runner crosses the plate, the run doesn't count. They did get it, and it's a 2-1 ball game. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Cuba. A run on 2 hits for Mexico now. Campillo, another ground ball. Cantu, got to hurry, does. And Rolando Marino's retired the catcher. He's 0 for 2. We talked about the situation of the Cuban pitchers and the pitch count problem they've got. Gene Orza from the Major League Baseball Players Association handed us this. It is important to understand Team Cuba did not miscount the pitches thrown by Gonzalez and Mejia. In fact, they were accurate in the count. The Cubans relied on an unofficial document distributed in Mexico City to Team Cuba and Team Mexico, intended to give each team in shorthand what the rules on pitcher eligibility were. The document was in fact a mistranslation of the actual rule. The World Baseball Incorporated, grateful for the Cubans' cooperation and professionalism in understanding the document did not displace the actual rule, and the World Baseball International apologizes to Team Cuba for the mistaken translation of that rule. That will be a base hit. Leslie Anderson is on, a 2-out single here in the 4th inning.
Gary, I can see where in translation it could be misconstrued. Because the key is to have 2 guys with 30 pitches exactly. Just informs me about the big confusion. But one thing I heard a lot from the players coming out before the game in the Cuban dugout was, well, it's not going to work, but you know what we got to do? We win. And then they can pitch again.
Exactly. Then they'll have their day's rest. Barrett up. And a runner on at first base. Timeout might have been called on that before they actually got going. Mexico's trying to get the attention of their outfielders. They're trying to move the center fielder around. The coach is all the way down the first base side. He came out of the dugout where he's not supposed to be and was halfway down to right field, hollering at his center fielder, move over.
Jose Tolentino got some TV time. He's a TV man too.
The center fielder was way over towards right field, and he moved him over about 6 steps to left against this right-hander. Eduardo Perret, he grounded out his first time up. Runner at first, 2 down. Perret on the big cut will miss that one.
You know, playing in this ballpark, it really becomes an issue of let the little man hit it over your head. Just come on, but take away the sinking line drive.
Yet we have seen most outfields here with these 4 teams play very deep, very deep. I just don't understand that for the very reasons you're speaking to. Leslie Anderson back over to the bag. Obviously Mexico concerned that he might be taking off here and try and run. Anderson, just a decent lead. Cuba has stolen only 1 base. They are 1 for 2. And Anderson is not the base runner who has picked it up. That was Oliveira. They haven't done a lot of running. They do a lot of mashing, but not a lot of stealing bases.
Mashing stays with you longer.
Yee. Parrott to second base. Right at him. And an easy out. Sandoval gets it over there. No runs on one hit, no errors, and one left on base. This is an elimination game. Cuba leading 2-1. Good ball game underway here. We'll constantly remind you about the fact this is an elimination game. Every out moves somebody closer to not being in this World Baseball Classic for another day. Mexico coming in with a 2-3 mark, and Cuba with their 3-1 record. A 2-1 lead for Cuba as we go to the bottom half of the fourth inning. Robles, Gonzalez, and Cantu a due up, shows bunt. The other thing that will be interesting, the decision was made that for this particular game in pool play, that the home team would be decided by a draw or flip of the coin. And Mexico won that, and they are the home team, even though their record's 2-3 and Mexico's 3-1 in the World Baseball Classic. That is a strike taken by Robles. 1-1.
Well, they should be feeling more at home with Vinny Castillo as their manager, the great Vinny, along with Eugenio Velez for Team Cuba. There's so many Mexicans in this area in the proximity to the border. They feel great support.
Lean to look at it, and that will be taken for a strike. They come here in many colors, festival style with the hats, and really great. I mean, they really have a good time.
That's how we measure the breeze right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Go to the feathers, see how they're moving.
Robles is 4 for 10 in the Classic, waiting on a 1-2. And a chopper back to the mound. That'll be short hop. Vera's got it. Over to Anderson at first base. One away here in the fourth inning.
Gary, that was step and throw from the mound, not an underhand throw, which we see so much nowadays in big league baseball.
Vera looks like he's played other positions in the field as well as pitching, because he's pretty good. He lands in a good position for a pitcher to field. Looks pretty confident.
Practice, practice, practice. And that is one of the biggest things and first things big league teams practice. Pitchers, fielding practice. Well, sometimes it gets ugly during the season, let me tell you.
That's the truth. It's Adrian Gonzalez.
It's like you almost want to say, well, that's the first thing you do in spring training. During the season, why do you put it away all of a sudden? Because there's a lot of games that are costly because pitchers can't field their positions.
Exactly. They've got the shift on Gonzalez with a shortstop move May over behind second base. The favorite here, obviously, Adrian Gonzalez with the San Diego Padres. Had career highs last year, 36 home runs, 119 RBIs, a Gold Glove at first base, and he's having a very good World Baseball Classic. 6 for 20, 2 homers and 7 RBIs for the San Diego Padres. 2-0 pitch to him, and missed outside. Good eye on it. 3-0.
Vera wanted that one. He was reacting, even catching the ball back from his catcher Mourinho. Bill Miller right on top of that one. The extra movement did not help him.
No. Don't want to do a lot of that with major league umpires. 3-0 delivery. He will get the call on that one. A strike on the outside corner. Vera this year in his league in Cuba's 9-2. He has 63 strikeouts, 102 innings, only 15 walks, 2.89 earned run average for Santiago de Cuba. 3-1 delivery, and tried to change up and missed it way up high, and he walks Gonzalez.
It was almost counterproductive to try something else, because one thing that was noticeable, Gary, is his arm angle changed, and so far he has been more comfortable with a sidearm low 3/4 than what he just tried there, almost going overhand.
He's working the hitters backwards.
Look at that. He totally stood up. That's a high 3/4 delivery.
Wow. Just lost that one. Only one of the last 10 hitters has he thrown a first pitch strike to. That's not the way you want to start hitters. Jorge Cantu takes the fastball inside, and it's a strike. Home plate umpire Bill Miller signaling either he called that a swinging strike or it touched the bat, and Cantu, I think, is asking as well. Tried to hold up on his cut. Apparently didn't. Talk about an active bullpen. The entire delegation from Cuba.
They are instructed not to sit down, and it's a mandate from the manager of Eugenio Velez.
And that got him. So Vera creating his own problems here with a walk and a hit batter with one down. And how much of this is because he's not happy with the calls from the home plate umpire Bill Miller?
Now he's trying to force the issue with the movement and being more picky in the corner. The movement he has. Now it's a matter of starting that sinker middle of the plate and not to be too fine with it inside. If you throw that pitch inside with that much movement, you're going to either hit a lot of people or you're going to throw a lot of balls because the ball's going to carry way out the side.
Jose, one of the things a lot of pitching coaches will say with someone who's got that much movement on the ball, throw the ball down the middle of the plate because it's never going to end up there. If you throw it down the middle, it's going to end up somewhere else.
In convincing the player to believe that,
yeah,
to
doesn't
say,
work.
wait, what are you saying? Down the what? But
they won't do it.
It's a philosophy of saying no, because of your movement that you trust and got you to the big leagues or to this level, we have to use it and tell the catcher not to move too much. That's another theory that's used.
Well, here's Mexico trying to get back into this one. They trail Cuba 2-1. They were down 2-0. Karim Garcia, who can pump the long ball, as you saw. He's got 3 of them with 5 RBIs. Runners on at first and second. Grounded out his first time up. The shift is on for Garcia with a shortstop, Perret, right behind second base. He was looking heater and he got it.
You mentioned about his prowess with a home run, the long ball. Boy, did he take advantage of playing in Mexico City. These would have been out anywhere against righties and lefties, liners, and moonshots. He's a hero in Mexico City.
Getting one of those against Cuba in the game they played there, these two teams. 0-1 count, only one away. Up the middle, off the pitcher Vera. Only plays at first. The flip, not handled. Everybody's safe. Runner will stay at third. That will be an infield hit. Vera could not find the bag and the ball at the same time. It was going to be a very close play at the bag.
Well, certainly the dive at first after Vera knocks it like a goalie. He was still able to get over there, but boy, Karim Garcia was diving into the pool here at Petco. Look at this effort.
Look at that. You think these players don't get involved in the World Baseball Classic?
Oh.
Now the fans from Mexico making some noise. Bases are loaded, only one away. Here is Scott Hairston. He was called out on strikes his first time up. 5 for 15 in the Classic with a homer, 3 RBIs. Inside corner, Vera's got a battle now. Vera, who had dominated, retired the first 8 hitters in the ball game before he surrendered the double to Ojeda in the 3rd inning, and Ojeda would score. Now here in the 4th, creating problems for himself after he got the out, a walk, a hit batter, and then that infield hit that he couldn't do anything about. Bases loaded, one away. Oh, 1 delivery. 1-1.
I like this sequence. This is where you make the plate really big. Either you miss way inside on Hairston, force him to pull something to the third baseman, or if you miss away, it's not a way to let him extend his arms, but away from the strike zone.
You see the problems Mexico has had with the bases loaded last 4 times, not being able to get anything done. Leaving people on base, leaving people in scoring position has been a problem throughout this tournament for Mexico. 1-1. Chopper. Olivera only plays at first, will get the out, but the RBI picked up by Scott Hairston, and this ball game is tied at 2-2 as Gonzalez, who reached on a walk, crosses with the second run.
So now it's the Mexicans' turn to get a few breaks here and there. It becomes a productive out for Scott Hairston, but everything starts with a 1-out walk, a hit batsman. The infield single, and before you know it, it's a new Fuego.
Fourth RBI of the World Baseball Classic for Hairston. Got the job done. There are now 2 in scoring position as well, as the runners. Cantu moves over to third. Garcia moves to second. Out of the inning, here's a very big at bat. Ricci takes a strike. He grounded out his first time up. Looking for his first hit of the Classic. He's had an 0 for 4. You see the numbers in league play for him last season.
Solid all-around player, and Vinny Castilla has a well-rounded roster of players that have a lot of experience in the big leagues, but also, Gary, very important to him. He mentioned this before the tournament. I want players that also understand what wearing the uniform is, carrying the flag, and players that really want it. These guys are most of these guys in Mexico are not going to big league camps when this is over.
Yep. Yeah, this is their season. This is their big game. Vera. 0-1 count, 2 down. And that'll be taken inside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, that's already pitch number 62 for Vera, who made 61 in his first outing. We got to go back to March 8th. That Sunday afternoon against South Africa when he went 6 innings.
Mexico is the champ. 1-1 delivery. And Vera's still upset with the home plate umpire, Bill Miller. He thought that should have been a strike. And I really think this is affecting his game right now. This is a veteran pitcher, but you can tell by his body language he just doesn't like the calls. But that's up high.
That's a ball. And the more he acts like that, the more he's going to get himself into a hole.
Ricci with a 2-ball, 1 strike count. Runners off second and third. Back to the mound. Vera makes the play and gets the out. But a run in. It'll come on a walk, a hit batter, a single, and a ground ball out by Hairston to tie the game up 2-2. Beautiful shot of the city of San Diego here in Southern California. And you see the ballpark, Petco Park, home of the San Diego Padres. The baseball only gets better in the World Baseball Classic. On Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, another elimination game between 2 very good ball clubs, Puerto Rico and the United States. One will be out.
Somebody needs to hit. And you got to see Team Puerto Rico, and they're just smashing the ball all over the place, weren't they?
Till today, Venezuela shut them out by a score of 2-0, guaranteeing themselves a trip to Los Angeles. Yeah, they're an excellent ball club. That's going to be a heck of a ball game. Martin.
Between innings, again, Lourdes Gurriel, hitting coach, gets everybody together. And watch him. He talks about approach. He's talking front shoulder. He's talking balance. Right mentality.
Bounced it up as he showed bunt. Martin has picked up a single, struck out. Campillo, 25 pitches in the first and 28 in the last 3. That's called settling it in.
Just calming down. He knows he has a luxury of more pitches for this round.
30-year-old right-hander has 2 walks and 2 strikeouts so far in the game. Campillo wanted that call, gave a little jump on the mound when he didn't get it, and a 2-ball, 1 strike count. Top of the order. Olivera, then Enrique to follow for Cuba. The 2-1. Again, he walks up. This time he will take the strike, and the count goes to 2-2.
He's really testing, the limits when it comes down to walking outside that batter's box. And this is the 3rd time we see Martin do that walking, approaching the ball.
You hit that ball out of the batter's box, you're out. Ground ball towards the middle, and the speedster is on. That'll be his second base hit. Hairston will get it back in. So a leadoff single, Martin, and here we go again with speed on that Campillo's got to be cognizant of with this ball game tied at 2. 6 hits for Cuba.
Leonys Martinez, part of this new revamping, Gary, of a new roster. They want some youth. They want some speed. In fact, it goes back to 2006 when they made the last out here in San Diego, and it was Gurriel who struck out. Eugenio Vela, as a manager, said, we start preparing for 09 then.
And again, when things like that are said, that's how much this classic means to many of these teams.
You mentioned already stopping the regular season just for this. Well, there's a lot of players back home waiting for this to be over.
Yep. Oliveira, there's the bunt. Beauty. Cantu dropped. I think he had the out. The first base umpire looked as though he was going to call the out at first, but the ball was dropped. So we'll see if they charge an error here. There's a big play as they're now 2 on and nobody out.
Good play by Cantu. The throw on what would have been a very close play is not handled by Sandoval, but not being able to handle that throw is unusual for a second baseman. It was a good throw, good height. There's no runner in the way.
Right in the glove and missed it. A big play. That is going to be a base hit.
Oliveira just flew down that line.
Now first and second, nobody out. Enrique, who has walked and scored and lined out. They will move in at first and third looking for a bunt. And a timeout is taken by the catcher.
Campillo not too happy about that.
Well, that's his own guy who called the timeout. That's why I love that rule now. The home plate umpire will point to the person who asked for the timeout. He'll either point to the catcher, the pitcher, or the batter. Who asked for it? So he grants it, and he says he asked for it.
That's a risk, Gary, that you run into when you're a pitcher, and when you start your motion towards home plate, you're looking at second base. Usually you want to see a guy look at second base, then start tilting his head over towards home plate to start his motion.
Yep. Enrique will take that for a strike. Ball game tied at 2-2. Cuba's out hitting Mexico 7-3. We're in the 5th inning. They've got the middle of the order. The Cubans do coming up here with nobody out. Enrique's the designated hitter. They move back at first and third now, and a strike taken. So Campillo gets ahead on the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Don't think Campillo is not looking at the guy on deck. There's a hitter he must bear down on.
You don't want to bring up Cepeda with any more people on base. Trying to get the ground ball for the double play. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball, stayed away. Check at first, and he did not go around. And a 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Well, this appeal started by the pitcher Campillo. Quickly on that curveball. Campillo wasted no time. Watch him. Before his catcher is able to ask, the pitcher's asking.
Players in this ball game. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Runners off first and second. And the count will go full. Now with nobody out, do you send the runners? You've got great speed in Martin and Oliveira. You've got your cleanup batter waiting on deck. Do you want the runners to go here to try and stay out of a double play?
I would send them right now because Enrique is a good line drive hitter. Hits the ball up the middle a lot and hits the ball on the ground a lot.
Enrique hitting .407 this year back in the Cuban League. 3-2 delivery. Runners do not go, and he walked them. That is the 3rd walk Campillo has surrendered. It will load the bases with nobody out.
Very, very unusual for Jorge Campillo, as Vinny Castilla can't believe 2 walks in the 1st inning and now a walk in a very tight situation. You know, he is from Tijuana, and don't tell me that there's not extra pressure on Campillo to pitch well here tonight.
Ortega getting ready in the bullpen. A visit to the mound to give some time and also to decide on the strategy defensively that they want to use here with the bases loaded. Campillo with the Atlanta Braves last year only walked 38 in 158 innings. He has walked 3 in this one, and the first 3 are on for Cuba here in the 5th.
How about this conversation? Father and son. Lourdes Gurriel, the coach. Yulieski, the batter.
A big moment in this ball game. Tied at 2-2 here in the 5th inning. Cepeda will stand in. In at third base is Cantu. He's playing on the grass at third. And the pitch is taken up high for a ball.
Surprising, which tells me they're looking for the out at home plate. Here's what Cepeda did to finish off the round in Mexico City. The knockout blow. Big home run.
Has an RBI in this game and a single, also a walk. A high strike is called there. 1 ball and 1 strike.
In fact, going back to that home run, it was his second hit of that inning. They hit 10 times.
Yikes. 1-1. Campillo in the off-speed pitch. Misses outside. 2 ball 1 strike count.
Well, Gary, whatever Lourdes Gurriel, when he huddled him up as they come off the field, whatever he told them in terms of approach, they are applying it.
They are being patient here. Bases loaded. 2-1 delivery. Got the inside corner. Good pitch by Campillo. These 2 pitchers have had to deliver some very tough pitches.
Good running 2-seam fastball.
Campillo is now up to 80 pitches. Only gets 85. That ball hit in the air to right field. That is in the gap way back, and that's going to take a hop off the wall with the bases loaded. 1 run in, 2 runs in. 3rd run is coming. Ball is bobbled. It'll be a double for 3 RBIs for Cepeda. And there, for the moment, is the big blow of this ball game.
Campillo frustrated with himself with those walks. Out of 3 so far, 2 have scored. Costly one to Enriquez. And the man that absolutely loves hitting in the World Baseball Classic again, Frederic Cepeda, comes through.
You just cannot get Cepeda out of there. It's a 4 RBI ball game for him now, and a 5-2 lead. And that is going to be it for Campillo, as Mexico will have to go to the bullpen now and hope they find some help there. Cuba leads it by 3. Frederic Cepeda with a big double, 3 RBIs off it. He's now got 10 in the World Baseball Classic.
Well, he wants to make sure that in case he doesn't score, that at least he gets some high fives now. During the pitching change, he visits pretty much with everybody in that dugout, getting some big hugs, some messages.
He's still on base. You usually get that kind of celebration till the inning's over.
I thought he went over there to get some water or coffee or something.
Oh, man. Out of the bullpen, Pablo Ortega, a 32-year-old right-hander with a runner at second base and still nobody out. Cantu knocks it down. He's got time off the bag, but it is held. Nice play at first base by Gonzalez. Gurriel is retired for the first out of the inning, holding the runner Cepeda at second base. 5-2 lead Cuba.
Right here, it's surprisingly that Gurriel was not more patient and trying to hit the ball the other way. I mean, there's a 3-run lead, but you still got to understand that you have to play the game right. Before you know it, Mexico, a lot of power. They could be back in this game.
Ortega now will work to Cespedes with a runner on his second base and 1 out. The ERA, Mexico's pitchers, bullpen, not good. Yikes. Ortega 13.5. 0-1 delivery. That is down low. Ortega's appeared in a couple of ball games, one as a starter, but has worked only 2 innings. Surrendered the 3 runs on 4 hits. Cespedes has hit into a fielder's choice and grounded out. 1-1 delivery to him, and you foul it off 1-2.
You saw those numbers by that bullpen for Mexico, and this is usually when the game gets out of hand because they make so many mistakes over the plate. They have no rhythm. The breaking balls they think are going to be executed well are hanging usually, and better yet, no mistakes have gone unnoticed by the hitters.
And swung out and missed. Got him to chase a slider that was foul tipped and held on to. So Cespedes is retired. Ortega comes on and gets a couple of outs. Still a runner on at second base. 2 down.
We'll talk about lack of execution. This was excellent execution by the veteran Pablo Ortega.
Campillo, the starter, 4+ innings, 8 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. So far charged with 5 runs. Responsible for Cepeda, who's out there at second base. Rolando Moreno, and he will take the pitch away for a ball. He's been on some championship teams, as you see. One of the things you find with obviously with these teams that play in international tournaments, most of the players are playing for winners in their home countries, for the best teams there. Moreno's one of those. Cepeda off second base, 1-0 delivery with 2 away. That'll miss, and a 2-0 count.
Goes back to what you were saying before. Nothing here is an accident. I mean, there's no coincidences as the type of players they want on a national club to get out of Cuba. They want mentality of guys that know and find a way to win also at home.
Yep. 2-0 count. And if you don't win, there are players on this team, in fact, who did not have a good series in 06 in the World Baseball Classic, who were not on the national team after that for games played between then and now.
That's right.
Who had to battle to get back, a couple of them, in order to make this team again. Well, there's a price paid if you don't get the job done. 2-1 delivery. Chopper down to third base, and that is a foul ball.
There's no sentiment at all involved with decisions whether you come or not. And then the other tough decisions they have to make is a lot of times, Gary, they have these 18, 19-year-old players just on the verge of getting out of the junior division, and they have to decide, is he ready or not? Do we expose him too early or not? And sometimes Vela says those are the toughest ones. You know, forget the stats, but ability-wise are ready, but mentally we don't think they are all the time.
2-ball, 2-strike count here with 2 down. Cuba's added 3 runs in the 5th to take a 5-2 lead, trying to get another. And that slider is going to miss outside to Moreno, who has struck out and grounded out.
I can relate to that as a former player. There are times in which I probably thought that I was ready for the next level, to be and that next step platform ability-wise, but a lot of times you ended up succeeding in your mind, and I wasn't ready for that.
As Yogi used to say, it's 80% mental and 50% physical. Ground ball towards short. That one took 3 or 4 hops, and they will get the out as Robles gets it over, but not before Frederic Cepeda, their cleanup batter, delivered a 3 RBI double with the bases loaded. Cuba's up 5-2. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the World Baseball Classic Inc. may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Good ball game. Cuba with a 5-2 lead now over Mexico. One of these teams advances to play again. Pastano has come on now to do the catching. Well, Pastano working in behind the plate for Cuba. And that will be fouled off. Valenzuela leading it off, hitting 8th. He flied out to right field. And the only at bat he has had. The Cuba deciding to go defensively behind the plate now that they've got the 5-2 lead. Put the veteran leading catcher back in the ball game.
Well, Ariel Pastano, he's a guy that defensively gets this team in the game, and for them right now it's a matter of not doing one thing: don't give it away.
Vera with a 1-ball 1-strike delivery. When he drops down like that, that slider becomes really nasty. It's got a lot of sweeping movement on it, doesn't it?
It's got a tremendous sweep, a very tight spin, and that arm angle for a fastball and slider very similar.
There it is again. The outside corner. Valenzuela waited till he heard the call and then swung. He knew he was gonzo. That's 4 strikeouts for Vera in the ballgame.
Well, he went back to the arm slot we talked about. When he tried to elevate and go a little high 3/4, it just did not work for him. That was a tighter one. When he stays back, he takes a little bit off of it. It's a smaller slider, but just as effective.
Vera can throw 88 pitches under the rules here in round 2. He is up to 68. So he has been effective working here in the 5th inning. They would love to get 6 innings out of him. Ojeda, a double and a run scored in the 3rd. And the pitch is up high for a ball. Mexico getting a run in the 3rd inning on the RBI by Sandoval. RBI and a ground ball out by Scott Hairston in the 4th that tied it up. But Cuba came right back in there next half inning and delivered those 3 runs in the 5th to take the lead back 5-2.
How many times in a ball game, and what we're used to seeing, you're going to see a defensive change in the 5th inning, but there's a clear message for the rest of the defense. The leader is behind home plate. Let's everybody pay attention to the details. Yep. Or he'll start yelling.
Yeah, exactly. The total of 70 now thrown. That sweeping pitch will miss down low. And a 2-ball 1-strike count. So Mexico's got to battle back again against Vera. They've come from behind once on him to get a ball game tied up here, but they've yet to take the lead, and now a bigger differential. It's 3.
Every time Gary, he goes over the top, he can't find it. He can't finish the pitch the same way.
Then stay away from it. Right now you got a lead. The last thing you need to do is put anybody on base.
Look at this.
Sails on him, doesn't it?
Dangerously.
Yeah. Put one of those to strike zone close to it. It'll get ladled. Change up. And a 3-ball 2-strike count.
Okay. Look at the spin he puts on this one. Fingers this time they go down. Boy, where did he have that hiding?
I think Ojeda thought he was out. I think he thought that was strike 3. He went around the umpire and came back on the other side.
Just needed to get warmed up.
I understand it. Here's the 3-2 delivery. And Ojeda's, this time he can go. 5 strikeouts by Vera, 2 here in the 5th.
Oh, that's what they call pitching backwards. He showed him everything that he could under the watchful eye of the Mexicans. Until finally, look at the tail and the fading on that 2-seam fastball.
Vera's walked only 1, has hit a batter, and has struck out 5. And gets a couple of quick outs here in the inning. Freddie Sandoval at the top of the order, single and an RBI, and he is struck out. Sandoval will lash it foul. These 2 teams have met recently in international competition in '07 in the World Cup. They played in Taipei City, Taiwan. Cuba shut out Mexico 6-0 in the quarterfinals. And then in this '09 World Baseball Classic in Mexico City, Cuba beat Mexico 16-4. The last 2 meetings these 2 teams have had. 0-1 delivered to Sandoval. That's a strike. The winner of this game will face the loser of tomorrow night's game between Japan and South Korea. Japan clearly here scouting while using the Thundersticks.
Just to mix in with the crowd.
Exactly.
Not to look like a spy or anything.
South Korea's coaching staff is sitting next to us. They're scouting. The 0-2 delivery just missed outside.
Well, Japan has announced the fabulous Yu Darvish on the mound, and for Korea, the lefty Jung-Kyung Bong.
Great to see Darvish. Young pitcher everybody's talking about. Sandoval on the 1-2, and that will miss inside to him. 2-ball, 2-strike count with 2 down.
He needs this out. And I would say here's a fastball, hit it as far as you can, just to keep the momentum rolling and get those guys back in to hit.
Vera had 6 strikeouts in his other start against South Africa. He's got 5 here. 2-2 delivery. Back into the screen by Sandoval.
There goes Pestano, the catcher. Something he didn't like. Just a little reminder. And by the reminder is that the pitch limit is getting closer and closer. Keep changing angles.
He went way over the top on that pitch. So he's been up high, 3/4, almost sidearm sometimes when he drops down and throws to a right-hander. 2-2 delivery. Sandoval fighting it off.
And it seems like he just pulled something there on the mound.
He did. He's got a problem. Sano went out immediately on that right leg somewhere.
And he'll be attended immediately by team doctor Tony Castro. Here's how it happened. Right calf as he landed. Ouch. Hopefully it was just a cramp. Something that could pass away and leave him on the mound.
That's what it looked like. He's only 5 pitches away from the maximum he can throw in this game. At 85, the maximum, he's at 80. The bullpen, we've got a couple of pitchers down there have been tossing. Probably would like to give him a chance and would like to get him through this 5th inning.
And I'll tell you what, after all the confusion on the 30 pitches or 29 pitches, Eugenio Velez and all of their team would like to just see him finish this inning and this at bat.
I think you're right, though. I think that was just a cramp, Jose. It came so quickly, and you could see he couldn't put any weight on it. Normally with a cramp, most people know that's the way you feel. There are the pitch limits: 70 in the first round, 85 here, and then 100 for the semifinals and final. A pitcher, if he reaches that mark while facing a hitter, can complete that at bat and then has to come out of the ball game. And that's where he's at.
You almost feel the pain by looking at his face going, I am that close.
He's got 2 down here. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Sandoval. Chopper fouled off outside of first base. Sandoval's making it tough right here. Trying to get on, get something going with 2 down.
And Vera's still not moving very well. And talk about being tested immediately. So what happens? He has to get over anything hit to the right.
Kept going, trying to loosen it up.
Well, he's got 4 pitches to work with.
And only needs 1 out to complete his task. 2-2 to Sandoval. He's gone 5 for 12 for the home run here in the Classic. Ball down to the pen. Oh, he's out of the game. Now he falls down. Got to get him out of there. Whatever that is, it's not going away.
This one, no doubt. The pain too intense. Again, we mentioned the gentleman with a red jacket on the left is Tony Castro. It's Fidel's son. He is a team doctor. Back in Cuba, he is an orthopedic surgeon. And he'll take care of the veteran Vera, really, who gave it all.
Yeah. Just could not go on. You can't risk, obviously, any further injury there. So Vera, the right-hander, will leave the ball game. with his team leading it by a score of 5-2, but just could not get through to get that final out with a 3-ball 2-strike count on Sandoval. Not much question about what had to be done right there. Well, this will be a change resulting from the injury, but the bullpen was up. Pedro Lazo is the right-hander who's come on. Cuba leads it by 3. So the starting pitcher Vera being attended to out of the ball game, and Pedro Lazo has come on to do the pitching, another veteran, and his first pitch was to Sandoval, and the 3-2 was ball 4. So Vera will be charged with his second walk, and now Robles will be the hitter. Again, it has been a struggle for Lazo, and the fastball is outside. So Mexico will try and mount a 2-out rally here. Down by a score of 5-2. Robles, the number 2 hitter, is grounded out and flied out. Lazo 1-0 fastball, and it's in there for a strike.
He's got a live arm. Just we did not see the Lazo we were accustomed to in 2006 in his only outing here in 09. He really struggled, had zero command, and actually he looked out of breath over that altitude of Mexico City.
Well, the numbers here in the only appearance that he's had, certainly not good. He's appeared in one game, only lasted a third of an inning. He gave up 2 runs on 3 hits in a third of an inning, walking 1 and striking out the only out that he got. 35-year-old veteran of a lot of International League play for Cuba. 2-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be taken for a high strike. Not a happy Robles at the plate, who turns and walks away.
Look at this pitch cut, and look at how Pestano receives it. The tug with that glove.
Probably up high. But good help from your catcher, Pestano. Runner off first base here, 2-2. Robles will take that one inside.
For Cuba to go far in this tournament, they need Pedro Lazo, Gary, to be sharp. And it seems like it's taken him a little bit longer and longer to find a rhythm. He had been inactive for a long time, and he's a veteran. They pace him, you know, they know how to use him, even in conditioning out before the game. They pace Pedro Lazo.
Yep. Coach Pestano goes out to the mound, or halfway, the catcher. 3-2 count, 2 away. Runner will be going to make the lob toss over to first base with Anderson playing off the bag. We are in the 5th inning, so all these potential opportunities for Mexico matter more than ever. Down by 3. Runner goes 3-2 and got him to chase one out of the strike zone. Lazo with the K. No runs, no hits, no errors. A base runner left on, and after 5, 5-2 Cuba. So Lazo comes out of the bullpen to get the strikeout.
There's how much a veteran pitcher knows himself. Watch his reaction in terms of, I was talking about release point. Watch him. Yes, find a way to release the ball where it should. Those reminders do help a lot, Gary.
It does. Coaching himself out there. Well, we go to the 6th inning. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors Cuba. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Mexico. Cuba will try and extend the lead. Pablo Ortega is out of the bullpen doing the work here. Vera has stayed out in the dugout, obviously. The starting pitcher who came out with a leg cramp or something, so it wasn't serious enough that he had to go back into the clubhouse.
If he goes in that clubhouse, he'll get a call from the island saying, hey, you're supposed to be out there supporting your teammates. It doesn't matter that you're hurt.
It's tough. This is tough.
This is, you know, they're militarily trained. I mean, that's how they think.
Yep.
The other day, before a game, Eugenio Velez and his coaching staff are addressing the team as we take a look at the bandage by Tony Castro, the doctor.
Anderson will foul it off, 1-2.
In gear, there's three lines parallel. One line was the coaches. Okay. Second line was the position players. Third line was the pitchers. Instead of having everybody in a circle, let's talk to the players. No, it was like, this is how we are formed. This is how we are trained.
And got him as Anderson goes after the heater. Ortega gets his second strikeout. One away here in the 6th inning. Here's what's coming up. Tuesday's schedule in Miami, an elimination game as Puerto Rico and the United States are both 1-1. Venezuela beat Puerto Rico in the ball game today, shutting them out by a score of 2-0. And Japan and Korea, the two winners in their first games, will be playing 11 o'clock Eastern time here in San Diego. Punch to second base. Kind of floated out there. Perret's soft line drive. He's 0 for 3 now, 2 down.
Some of the messages coming out before the game in this from Cuba's dugout. Very picturesque. Someone will have to sweat it against us. Mexico or Korea. How about that?
Gotta believe. They're not used to losing. They expect to win. And Leonys Martin, who's in the leadoff position. Cuba has won 33 of 40 international tournaments since 1952. Swung on and missed. They're just used to competing, playing, winning, and going back to their league. And they expect to do that here in the World Baseball Classic. They didn't do it in the first Classic, which makes it even more imperative for him here. Jammed him, a foul ball inside, and an 0-2 count.
Culturally very inclined to superstition too. The red pants is a superstition. And a couple of the members in the team told me today, we have our candles lit up too back in the hotel. It's part of the culture.
Hope the hotel's still there. Breaking ball, and that hits in the dirt. A 1-ball, 2-strike count.
I can see it.
A blaze. 1-2 on Martin, the leadoff batter. Big ball game for him. 2 singles, 2 runs scored, 2 for 3 in the game. In the first Classic in 06, Cuba made it all the way to the final and lost to Japan, the defending World Baseball Classic champion. 10-6 ball game in the final. Game that kind of surprised everybody by the score. That in the final game, 16 runs would be scored.
At one point, that game was 6-5.
It's baseball. You just never know. Martin with the 2-2. And he is gone. Pablo Ortega looks pretty good. He's faced these hitters and getting strikeouts. He's got 3 of them now coming out of the bullpen. Pick up as many souvenirs as you can stand. Here's how this one's gone.
Well, the 37-year-old Jorge Luis Vera utilizing every pitch in his arsenal, every type of location, and every out. And the strikeouts have not missed here until the very end when he just could not withstand the pain in that right calf. But a solid effort by the veteran.
5 runs, 8 hits, no errors. Cuba Mexico 2-3-0. Cepeda with a 2-for-2 double, 4 RBIs. Vera got a chance to win this ball game. Campillo just could not get it done. Big hits off him, and Cepeda had one of those with the bases loaded for the double. That is the key hit in the ball game right now and the difference in the game. Bottom of the 6th inning. Mexico needing runners. Adrian Gonzalez. He has walked, scored, and grounded out. Pitch is in there for a strike. Pedro Lazo, 35-year-old right-hander, trying to get it done out of the bullpen. 230 versus right. A career high for him, and he's got a right-hander on the mound he's hitting against here. 3, 4, 5 in the order for Mexico in this inning. Pulled the string on him and got him.
Right before that pitch, we saw the catcher Pestano open his arms up like to say, well, you're the veteran. What do you want to throw? And Lazo, look at the stance. Watch this. What do you want? All right, let me flash this. Off speed, fork ball. Lazo was almost like delivering a BP pitch the way he was standing there.
Pastano has got to be one of the funniest players to watch.
You know, like him or not, I think he's good for this tournament, and he is good for international baseball.
He never stops talking, gesturing, catching, coaching,
yelling.
I mean, he's constantly active. Jorge Cantu has played a fine third base in this ball game, has been hit by a pitch and struck out.
Boy, if Lazo continues like this, forget about the confusion that happened here before the game in terms of the pitch limit and the rules and how they were interpreted by Cuba last night.
He looks like the old Lazo that we have seen in previous seasons. He gets that one foul back. He's got a career record of 240 wins and 120 losses in Cuba. A .667 winning percentage, which is really amazing. 4 Olympics, 2 gold, 2 silvers. I'm talking about that fork ball that's nicknamed the mortal fork ball, because it is, when it's on, it is mortal. Those who stand at the plate can do nothing with it. That one lifted to the corner. Jorge Cantu did something with that. He'll make the turn. Look out, second base. He'll get in. A double. Cantu took a little chance there with his club down by 3. With one away, he gets 2-bagger.
You're absolutely right. He took a chance, but you want to take a chance when you're aggressive. Cantu, after he delivers this ball down the left field line, was a little too casual. As Lasso hung this one. Cantu was almost running like it was a ground rule double.
Yeah, that was pretty close. That'll be hit number 4, just 4 from Mexico, but it is an extra base hit. They've got to make hay here with the opportunities. Here's Garcia. Garcia delivered a belly flop single his last time up, going into first base. He is 1 for 2 in the ball game. He's the DH. And he'll take a strike on the outside corner.
Gary, we mentioned superstitions before. Look at Karim Garcia's right arm, especially right wrist. Look at all these bracelets. You know what that's for? He thinks protection and luck.
Towering fly ball, but not deep. Right field. Pettis is there. Runner will stay. Throw all the way into third base. Garcia's retired. Big out. One of the power bats in the lineup for Mexico. 2 down.
Well, this time it didn't work, but Garcia has had a lot of luck and a lot of protection throughout this whole tournament. You know what was fun last night was to watch the reaction from the Korean players when Garcia came into the game, because he plays in Korea.
There's the pitcher shortage in the bullpen today, because those pitchers threw 30 or more, thus have to have a day off, so are not eligible to go until tomorrow. The Chapman's the starter. He wouldn't have been in. But Jimenez, Gonzalez, Maya all might have worked in this ball game. May not be needed. 2 down. Scott Hairston. And he'll take the pitch inside.
You know, Gary, when the question came as to why he took out Chapman so quickly, Eugenio Velez pointed out to his inability to find consistency in the strike zone. He goes, they had nothing to do with pitch count. He took him out at 50.
1-0 delivery on the way. He got fooled on that very late on the swing by Hairston. He's got an RBI and a ground ball out and has been called out on strikes.
Very deceiving with all that movement that Lazo throws at you. Hairston was very committed early.
And knew it. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Hairston has gone 5 for 16 here in the Classic. And will take that called strike. He didn't think so. Turns to say something to Bill Miller.
That's the old cement mixer slider.
Lostano has a way as a catcher. Usually if a catcher moves his glove after the ball is in it, the umpire will not call it a strike. Pastano somehow was able to move his glove and get the call. Wanted it outside, a heater. Lazo thought he had him. There's a lot of umpiring going on in this game, and it's not for the guy in black.
A lot of dancing. Look at this cha-cha.
2-2 count. Hairston with a base hit. Could get another run in with Cantu off second base. 2-2. Check swing. Check at first. Did not go.
Well, Hairston has a better idea now, even though he committed a little early on that one. At least he did not start his bat.
3 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. Cuba leads at 5-2. Mexico at the plate here in the 6th inning. It's a very big potential run out there at second base. Three-two delivery. Check swing, strike 3 called. So Lazo's got 3 strikeouts. Scott Hairston just drops the bat. Has to walk away. 5-2 Cuba. There is a very big star in this ball game. Cepeda is his name. 4 RBIs have been driven in, and Cuba, as a result of that, has got the lead. There you see the box score. This ball down the line curving, and it will be foul. Oliveira leading it off here. With those 4 RBIs now, Frederic Cepeda leads all World Baseball Classic players with 10 RBIs in the Classic this year.
Super hard with the bat. He is 5 for his last 6.
Check swing. Did he go? Check it first. No. Pablo Ortega, 6 of the 7 first pitches he has thrown have been for strikes. 1 ball, 1 strike count here in Oliveira, and he gets the strike on the outside corner. Oliveira's had 2 singles, a run scored. He is lined out now, 4 for 10 in the Classic. Cuba looking to add to that lead. We are in the 7th inning, and for Mexico, time running out. They cannot afford to give Cuba any more across the plate here if they're going to get back into this ball game.
You're right, Gary, and Pablo Ortega is doing his very best so far. This has been the best outing for a reliever for Vinny Castilla. This is something they can build off of.
That'll be a check swing foul ball. Ortega came on with nobody out and a runner on at second in the 5th inning. Stranded the runner, got the first 3 he faced. He's retired 6 in a row.
His stuff is very sharp. Well located fastball. He's mostly a control pitcher. Good breaking ball. A couple of looks on his breaking ball because he has a downhill curve and a sweeping slider. Sometimes a tighter slider, but also a changeup. He has had a lot of success pitching in the Mexican League for that reason.
11-5 his record for 08 in 23 games, all as a starter. Pretty good control. He walked only 28 in 121 innings. Ortega with a 2-2 delivery. Oliveira will punch that one up in the air to right field. And over to get a Venezuela, and there's one away.
Well, sometimes you need some reminders for yourself as you put your hat on. Some guys like to scribble and write some things under the bill, but if you look at Ortega's hat on the right, on the green of the hat, you see the word "sí," which means yes. And if that's a trigger for him and it works, don't change it.
Whatever works. Don't ask why.
That could be "sí puedo," yes I can.
Superstitions are so varied in the game, aren't they?
Everywhere, and it doesn't have to do with nations.
No. Oh no. Everybody has them. The C on his cap.
You can argue, well, it's number 51, but he's number 29.
Yeah. Here's Enrique batting .412 with a 7 for 17 Classic so far. He's had a couple of walks, lined out, and has scored 2 runs in the ball game. Sandoval at second base. 2 down.
Remember a time, Gary, when Pedro Martinez came out and he had written on the side of his hat his aunt, who just passed away. Major League Baseball say, you know, we don't want to make a habit out of this, so we respect that you respect her and you want to honor her. She just passed away, but we can't start that.
It would be never ending if you did. Here is Cepeda. He will take it for a strike on the inside corner. Single, double, 4 RBIs and a walk. He's now 11 for 18, hitting .611 with 3 home runs and a classic leading 10 RBIs.
I picked a few players from Cuba that would be impact players in the big leagues right now. I got Gurriel, Cepeda, and for sure Lazo and Chapman.
That one is another base hit. Just cannot get him out. It's amazing. 12 for 19 for Cepeda, and we're not talking about little bloop balls that fall in. He hits the ball hard, and it sounds it, looks it, and is.
They call it being unconscious. Well, you have to be very conscious to hit pitches like this. The infielder just froze.
Amazing. In the Olympics in 08, he was 8 for 26. He hit .308, 2 homers, 10 walks, and 11 runs. He hit .385 in the 06 World Baseball Classic with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. And here he's hitting .600. Gurriel. Runner on at first base. 9 hits on the board now for Cuba. There are 2 down. Gurriel will punch that one down the line. Bullpen scatters and not playable, foul ball. That's one of the problems for outfielders, and it is a serious one. When you have the bullpens and the bullpen mounds in foul territory and not set apart from the field, outfielders and infielders are always worried running over there that they end up watching the ball, getting caught going up the mound, and they end up getting hurt.
You lose your footing here. What you see is that Valenzuela very conservative because he doesn't know the territory well enough.
You can get hurt over there. It's very tough. I mean, you just think about running uphill while you're watching something in the air that you're trying to catch. 1 strike count, 2 down, runner at first.
You know, and with the new ballparks, I thought it would disappear, but even with the newer ballparks like this one bullpen is out of play, one is, I should say, out of the field, but there's one in foul territory.
Ground ball up the middle. Gurriel's got himself a base hit. Hairston up, stopping the runner at second base. Cepeda, 2 on, 2 down.
Vita Castilla has seen it too many times with his bullpen.
Dad's happy.
Well, the boss's son is going over to hug you. Look at him. Oh, yeah, baby. Just like I told him.
And he did.
It's almost like they're trying to calm him down. Poppy, relax.
And we are going to get a pitching change here. Well, for Ortega, very effective as he retired the first 8 batters that he faced, but then Cepeda and Gurriel picked up singles. They are on. They'll be his responsibility. 5-2 lead, Cuba, 7th inning. Bullpen activity. We go a little deeper into it, and here's the 26-year-old Francisco Rodriguez.
They call him the Mexican K-Rod. He is a property of the LA Angels of Anaheim, and he has a great arm. Mid-90s. And in limited action, only 2/3, he got banged up against a very powerful Australian team. He did 15 pitches to record those 2 outs, but here's the deal. He says that he imitates Francisco Rodriguez, the Francisco Rodriguez. Now with the Mets. In fact, Francisco got the save for Venezuela tonight. He says he imitates it on purpose. He goes, if that's what I need to pump me up, let it be.
There we go again with those superstitions, right? Whatever works. Well, he needs it right here, and so does his team. 2 down, 2 on, 7th inning. Cuba trying to add to their lead. Cespedes up. He has gone 0 for 3 in this ball game. He came in tied for the World Baseball Classic lead in hits with 9. Now 9 for 20, batting at .450. Runner at second base, Cepeda. Gurriel on at first with 2 down. 10 hits now for Cuba in the ball game, out hitting Mexico 10-4. Big cut on Rodriguez.
Gary, and he got an earful from his hitting coach when this pitching change was taking place. Watch this. There's Lourdes Gurriel, hitting coach on the right.
Non-stop coaching, isn't it?
He is more nervous than the players are.
He is. Here's the 0-1 delivery. That one's going to be down low and scooped up out of the dirt. A 1-ball, 1 strikeout on Cepedas.
He is a former star in the national team as a player. Superb player. And revered back home.
Cepedas has power. 26 home runs. In the last season, he had 104 hits, 78 RBIs. A lot of support over there. Here's the 1-1 delivery. And he rips that one to the gap in left center field. That's going to fall in. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Cepeda scores. Gurriel to score. Going for 3. Cepedas will be in with a stand-up triple. And a blow the barn doors off hit. A 7-2 lead for Cuba. All that talking work.
Man, where was he when I played? I would have taken an earful like this anytime.
The Cuba getting closer to extending their stay at the World Baseball Classic. And their offense, which got shut out in the last game by South Korea 6-0, is not shut out here. 7 runs on 11 hits in the ball game.
I wouldn't be shocked to see him go pick a glove and go take the field too.
He's ready if called on. Pastano now will get his first at bat in the ball game with a runner on at third base and 2 down.
For Francisco Rodriguez, comes in and gives up those 2 runs. As the story that Vinny Castilla just seems to just not get away from. A good start to the outing by Ortega, but unable to finish it off.
Bullpen has been the enormous problem. Pitching overall, and not surprising, maybe surprising just how bad it has been. Pastano with a 4 for 10 in the Classic. And he'll take it down low. Coming into this ball game, Mexico is getting it done with their bats. Their team ERA was 10.13. Their opponent's ERA was 9.46. That's a lot of offense in the games played by Mexico, by both themselves and the opponents. Runner off third with 2 down. Rodriguez, the 1-1 delivery. Pastano swings through it, 1-2.
They found out also very early, Gary, as to how this ballpark will not play. They only scored 2 runs yesterday thanks to Augie Ojeda, and that was it for their offense.
Yep.
Korea is very good. So is Japan.
And Venezuela.
Oh, no doubt about it. Big celebration down in Miami.
And Cuba.
También.
1 ball, 2 strike count, 2 down. Pastano, did he go? Yes, he did. The home plate umpire will make the call, and no argument there. 3 of the runs that have been scored by Cuba have come with 2 down. And in this inning, Cespedes with the double in the gap with 2 away, making it 7-2. 7th inning stretch time, San Diego. Cuba celebrates with a 7-2 lead at the 7th inning stretch here in San Diego, as Mexico picking up just the 2 runs on 4 hits. Sandoval at the top of the order. Hairston with the RBI down at the bottom part of the order. But just not much there off the Cuban pitchers so far in this game. Lazo's been very effective out of the bullpen until he hits him. Not very happy about it either. Decisive takes a look. He's still got the bat in his hand.
I mean, look how far away Pastano is sitting for Lazo to miss by that much.
Boy, he looked at him all the way down. Vera hit a batter. the starter, who gave up 2 runs, 3 hits over 4 2/3. Now Lazo gets the leadoff batter here in the 7th inning. Didn't seem very upset by it. Valenzuela take the pitch inside for a ball. 0 for 2 in the ball game. Flied out, struck out.
Finish it, says Pestano. Let's go. And he was right. It's about the mechanics right now. Seems like Lazo's going one way.
What? What's the problem? What? I hit him.
Dice, ¿qué pasó? Vámonos.
What you don't want to do here, obviously, is put any fire in Mexico's stove.
Don't wake him up.
No, don't wake him up. You got a 7-2 lead. They're feeling pretty defeated right now. Their offense has not been able to get it going here in this game. 2-0 count. Valenzuela will take the fastball on the outside corner, and Lazo is throwing hard. You can hear the pop of that mitt. Got him up at a 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
Not a lot of hope there in that picture either.
No. This is an elimination game. Loser will be out of the World Baseball Classic. That one in the air. Center field. Martin. 1 down. Again, it's another one of those balls coming off the bat. By the sound of it and the look initially, you think, whoa, that's a pretty good shot, and then it just doesn't go anywhere.
Martin gracefully went back. Look at all the time Martin took to get there.
Easy play. You could tell when he came out of the batter's box that Valenzuela thought he might have had a little more out of that than just a fly ball out.
We went back to the dugout to see where did I exactly hit that ball. I thought I had it. Not here in Petco.
Nope. Ojeda. Breaking ball in there for a strike. A strikeout victim delivered a double. He was driven in by Sandoval in an RBI. The other RBI came off Scott Hairston's ground ball out. Those are the only 2 runs Mexico's put up. 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. Well, Cuba spread the scoring out here to take the 7-2 lead. Another sweeping pitch that catches the inside corner. 0-2. Lazo right now is putting on a pretty good show.
You need to stretch him out as much as you can. You can't think about what's going to happen in the next game. This could be it. So you stretch him out as much as you can, because back in Cuba in the regular series in their season, he's a starting pitcher.
Yep. Cuban players, management, coaches, you can tell feeling pretty good, moving in on that top step. 0-2 count. Ojeda. No chance. Boy, there was an at-bat where he was just dominated. Lazo gets the strikeout, 4 recorded since coming out of the pen.
There's Tony Cantor, but I think somebody needs to get a rope and put it around Lourdes Gurriel. Good execution by Lazo, but the hitting coach in the Cuban dugout, he wants to jump on the field. Hold that man back.
Hold him back. It looks like there's going to be another day. They're going to need him. Here's Freddie Sandoval. 5 for 12 in the Classic. Players from Mexico know they may be looking at their last at bat here in this 09 World Baseball Classic. Strike taken. Sandoval a walk, a single, and an RBI, and is struck out.
You see the animated picture from the Cuban dugout, but looking at Mexico, it's a totally different environment. The shoulders are hunched down over at Mexico on the first base side, and they know what they're up against.
They were the runner-up in Pool B. Coming into this second round, swung on and missed. We said they had the big wins and the big losses with lots of runs scored, both for and against. Suffering by really with the pitching that just was not there, and they got out hit in ball games, but managed to survive the first round. In 06, they lost out because of a tie-breaking scheme that no longer exists. 0-2 delivery on the way, and that will be taken down low. Was this team from Mexico that beat the United States 2-1 and knocked the U.S. out of the 06 Classic. But then when the tiebreaker went into effect, when there were 3 teams, they were the ones who ended up being eliminated by the tiebreaker. So they had some tough luck. And Japan moved on, in fact, out of that tiebreaker, and then went on and won the whole thing. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Sandoval with a runner at first base.
So the rules have been changed. Things have been getting better, simplified. Because you think Korea went 6-1 in that tournament, and they were nowhere to be seen later on.
Nope. If you lost the wrong ball game, you were out.
Done.
It was a round robin instead of the double elimination that we have now. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Lazo has given up 1 hit. He's hit a batter. Struck out 4. 1-2 delivery. Long foul ball upstairs.
Freddie Sandoval, good-looking player, member of the Angels organization. Switch hitter. Perhaps could be a future utility guy in the big leagues. Can play second, can play first, can play third. A little outfield.
Those players become ever more important to our versatile in major leagues as some teams have to go to the extra pitcher. So trying to find the bench player, the more versatility, the better chance you have to make a team. 1-2 delivery, did not miss by much, and a 2 ball 2 strike count on Sandoval. Mexico needs base runners here if they're going to give themselves a chance to get back into this ball game. Runner on at first, but there are 2 down. Sandoval getting his first action in World Baseball Classic play. He did not play in 06. 2-2.
So the face of Karim Garcia, whom we saw before on screen, thinking about how unusual will it be to be eliminated. He's going to play in Korea again, but to see the Korean team still here.
That's strange, isn't it? Teammates and opponents in another country, in another league that you're playing against here in the United States in the World Baseball Classic.
And that is why actually they don't know when their season is going to start.
Yep.
Because they're waiting for all of this to be over to see how far the team goes.
Yep. 2 balls 2 strikes. Lazo in a pretty good battle here with Freddie Sandoval, and got him. Boy, is Lazo good right now. That's 5 strikeouts he's recorded. A batter left on at first base. 7 complete. Cuba 7 and Mexico 2. Well, today Venezuela got a victory over Puerto Rico 2-0, out hitting them 8-5 in that ball game. And as a result, Puerto Rico's guaranteed themselves a trip to Los Angeles. Now, Venezuela has. Now Puerto Rico and the United States will play 7 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow night. That is an elimination game.
Well, who would have thought the way Puerto Rico started back in San Juan and the way the U.S. started in Canada? One of those teams, well, the U.S. will stay home, literally, but
yeah,
two good offensive ball clubs.
We go to the 8th inning. Cuba's got the 7-2 lead. They're at the plate. Who would have thought the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, neither would maybe make it into that final grouping? Who would have thought the Dominicans would lose twice to the Netherlands?
Hit me again. Go ahead.
Ugh.
Take another shot.
Wow, the Cinderella team of this World Baseball Classic now eliminated themselves. Leslie Anderson takes that one to left field. Rosici is there to haul it in. 1 down, 8th inning. Francisco Rodriguez, who came out of the bullpen, gave up the big double, not charged with the 2 runs that scored on it, though, in the 7th inning. 1 down in the 8th. Eduardo Perret batting 9th, playing short, 0 for 3 in the game. Popped out and grounded out twice.
Perret, he is a team captain, Gary, and he had a big home run here. against Daisuke Matsuzaka in the finals in 2006. Very fiery player. You think he's 25 years old. He's also closing in on 40.
Another one of the veteran players on this team that goes young and old, not a lot in the middle right now. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
The other inspirational leader. Boy, we're talking about experience internationally. He's got it.
One delivery to him. It'll be Japan and Korea playing here in San Diego tomorrow. 2 teams who really don't like each other, and 2 teams who are very good.
With Yu Darvish on the mound for Japan.
Big ball game for them. The winner of this game will play the loser of that game. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Lazo's done an incredible job out of the bullpen. You would expect he's going to stay on and roll on as long as he's effective.
Why mess with it?
Yep. 2-2 will have to wait for it out.
And he's gotten better the more pitches he's thrown. And as I mentioned before, as a starting pitcher, maybe he's one of those guys that has a slow first inning.
2-2 pitch. Grounded towards the hole. Knocked down. Cantu. Close. Got him. Durant had a chance to beat that one out. And there are 2 down here in the 8th inning.
Yeah,
a lot of pitchers have tried a lot of things as they try to. First inning is generally the problem inning for starting pitchers. As you know, even Greg Maddux, he used to go in the bullpen, try and pitch a full first inning in the bullpen before the game started, trying to pretend it was a second when he came in.
Everything has been tried by guys like Maddux. I remember with the Angels, Irvin Santana had trouble pitching on the road. So one day they said, well, let's do this. We'll have you warm up while our team is hitting in the first inning, and then come straight from the bullpen to the mound.
Yep. Nothing works.
It didn't work.
It just doesn't work. Strike taken. You saw how close that play was at first base. But it's an out, and there are 2 down.
Those 25-year-old legs by Eduardo Pared, man. Still moved very well.
Leonis Martin, 2 singles, 2 runs scored, and has struck out twice. Deuce is wild for him in this ball game. 0-1 count, 2 for 6 in the World Baseball Classic. He's at the top of the order. Fouls that one back off the catcher's mask.
He really is a good-looking player. I mean, obviously we have limited time to see him, but you watch batting practice, you watch the way he moves around the outfield, how gracefully he does, and his at-bats are a reflection of what type of baseball they want from him.
And a great opportunity for him to grow here in this tournament. Just turned 21. Martin with a big swing and a miss. So he is gone. Rodriguez will pick up his 2nd strikeout. Bottom half of the 8th inning coming. Mexico has 6 outs to work with, trailing Cuba 7-2. You get down to the tight times in the 09 World Baseball Classic, where you got to win to stay. That's the situation in Miami tomorrow, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Puerto Rico and the United States, an elimination game. Here tomorrow at 11 Eastern, Japan and Korea. The winner of that game is guaranteed to go to Los Angeles, while the loser will still have a chance to play on. The loser will be playing the winner of this game in what will turn out to be an elimination game. That one in the air to left center field off Robles' bat, and that will be hauled in. Martin over to get it. Robles 0 for 3 in the ball game. Outfielders have to love playing here at Petco Park in San Diego, because the ball just hangs for so long. You don't need to have great speed even in this big outfield. You get a chance on fly balls to get over and under them.
Especially as it gets later in the evening and the marine layer starts coming in with the light ocean breeze or not. Well, you just don't go too quickly. You know, if you get a read, find direction, but don't go too fast, or you might even overrun some balls.
It was 60 degrees when we started the ball game some 3 hours ago almost, so probably down a little bit. One away. Here's Gonzalez. Adrian Gonzalez. Lazo's effectiveness continues on the mound. Decided he didn't want to throw that one, so he's going to try it again. Gonzalez walked and scored back in the 4th inning. He has struck out, grounded out, 6 for 21 in the Classic. And what the heck was that?
Oh, he was working on his knuckleball.
Lazo throwing something up there with a little drop down delivery. He'll miss outside with that, and a 2-0 count.
Well, look just how Lazo starts. It's like playing in your backyard. Look at this. It's like, am I? I'm not. Watch. That's casual baseball.
Casual. That in the air to center field again. That may have shattered the bat, actually. Sounded better than it was hit. Martin is there, and Gonzalez is retired. 2 down here in the 8th inning.
All these players in Cuba are so familiar with each other. As Lazo has made the most out of 43 pitches here tonight. You know, Gary, during the season, they cannot live in their own homes. So they might be playing in their hometowns, but they must live with their teams in the hotel. You're allowed to visit your family during the day, but you cannot sleep at your house. It doesn't matter if it's a block away. Why? Team concept first. So think about it. It's a 90-game season, and in those 90 games, say 5 months, because they have so many days off.
Yeah. That one is drilled to left field. Cantu a line shot. Goodbye, home run. Cantu puts one out to make it 7-3. Probably too little, too late, but a great shot anyway. His second home run of this World Baseball Classic. And a 7-3 game. Another run up there for Mexico. Karim Garcia. And he'll take that for a strike.
Boy, to hit a ball that hard and to see it elevate more and more goes totally opposite of what we've been talking about.
Kept it on a line instead of putting it up in the air. Just a shot. The old frozen rope. 2-strike count quickly on Karim Garcia. He's had 3 home runs in this World Baseball Classic. 7 for 18. Picked up a single, 1 for 3 in this ball game. Lazo, a lot of room to work with. That one fouled off.
He had been counting mostly on his fastball, which has been working. Why mess with it? He is up now to 48 pitches. After that home run, though, he's getting a little fancier, a little prettier with the rest of his repertoire, and gone back to his forkball, his slider. And you said he has a nickname for the forkball, right?
Yeah.
His fastball is called a supersonic.
So he's got a supersonic fastball and a mortal forkball. 0-2 delivery, missed outside. He thought he might have had that one. 1-2. Mexico's going to have some gaudy numbers when this thing is done if they lose here. That's the 13th home run that they have hit in 6 games. Foul back. They're going to have a team batting average. It's going to be somewhere around 320 probably. Team ERA that's going to be over 10. Lots of big numbers. The one that's going to matter is they don't come back here. Is this loss, they'll be gone.
And if that happens for Cantu, take some momentum into Marlins camp.
1-2 delivery on the way. Foul back.
Boy, they have some powerful infielders, those Marlins. My
They could be an
goodness.
interesting team. In the Eastern Division of the National League, Atlanta may be a bit of a surprise. Marlins may be a bit of a surprise. They'll be competing with Philadelphia, of course, the world champions, and the New York Mets, who they've got some holes, but expected to be very competitive.
And many scouts think Hanley Ramirez, their shortstop, is the best player in the National League.
That ball launched into center field for a base hit. Hit it through the shift. They had Perret, the shortstop, playing way over, but too high, too hard. Garcia's on. He's 2 for 4 with 2 singles in the ball game, and Mexico keeps the 8th inning alive with 2 down.
He's not ready to go back to Korea. In fact, he thought that this ball was going to be caught. Watch him. Oops. Yeah.
It's a new way to run to first. Lazo now will be joined by teammates, Coach
Pedro Perez. And I really think I saw Lazo landing a couple of pitches ago. He's getting a little winded. He's tired.
It's not he and the coach. It's he and the catcher talking here. This is Pastano. Imagine that, Pastano talking.
Face to face.
Look at him. Home plate umpire Bill Miller.
It's almost like they're challenging each other.
He is funny. He is something, boy.
That's the reason he was brought into this ball game.
Honestly,
in the middle of the game.
Sometimes he throws the ball back to the mound harder than the pitcher throws it to him. He'll wind up sometimes when he's mad, and I've seen him throw a ball back to the pitcher, I swear, at 90 miles an hour. Just gun it. Here is Hairston, runner on at first base, and 2 down. Inside out, that one foul. Scott Hairston, RBI and a ground ball out, officially 0 for 3 at the plate today. Jerry Hairston Jr., Scott Hairston, brothers playing on this team. Their mom is here watching. Their dad is in training camp watching on television. Here's the 0-1. Foul back again.
And mom is a Mexican native.
Yes. And Jerry Hairston Sr., the father, played ball in Mexico down there. And one of the sons actually had a couple of years living in Mexico while Senior was playing baseball there. So they have the connection to Mexico.
Goes all the way back to Sam Hairston.
Yes.
Their grandpa.
3-generation baseball family joining a select few. Two strike count, 2 down. Runner off first base. Outside. Talking about 3 generations, grandfathers, fathers, sons. The Boone family with Ray Boone, who has passed away, Bob Boone, his son, and then Aaron and Brett, his 2 sons, who all played. Gus Bell, the grandfather, Buddy Bell, the son, David Bell and Mike Bell, who played, and the Hairstons. 3-generation families of Major League Baseball players.
Marvelous, and good to see the World Baseball Classic provide for them an opportunity to touch heritage.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. 2 ball, 2 strike count, 2 away. Garcia off first base, and that'll do that. 6 strikeouts for Lazo in the ball game. The home run by Cantu puts another one up, but it's still Cuba 7 and Mexico 3. Frederic Cepeda, the big bat. Lazo, the big relief performance. And he and his catcher, Pastano. Guess who's doing the talking?
Well, this conversation will go all the way back to the island when this is all over.
2 veterans, strong personalities. Pastano's got to have a bunch of those batteries that keep the rabbit going in him. And a strike on the outside corner. Oliveira.
There are times when you don't want to match up guys in a team because there's conflicting personalities and conversations don't go the way you want them. Well, Cuba likes this. It's very apparent they like this.
They live off it. Luis Ayala's come on to do the pitching now.
Because it really comes down to one thing. Get the most out of your teammates somehow.
Exactly. Yeah. See the numbers for Ayala, not pretty in the 3 games. Fastball taken inside. Oliveira batting second in the lineup. 2 singles, runs scored, 2 for 4. 11 hits for Cuba, out hitting Mexico 11-6 in the game. Each team has stranded 6. Cuba's been able to get the big hits. That one in the air to left center field. Hairston started back, will move in and put it away. Oliveira retired, 1 away, 9th inning.
Well, here's Ayala. We had mentioned the injuries and the factor of playing or not playing and all the rules in regards to injured players a year before. Here's Ayala, who is now a Minnesota Twin, but said, you know what, even with my injury in 2006, I am going back to represent my country.
They shell out Enriquez. First ball hitting to short. Robles up. 2 down. Enriquez taking an 0 for 3 with a couple of walks and 2 runs scored.
Getting for Ayala, not just like a leg injury. We're talking about his elbow.
Serious stuff. The ball players have the final decision on whether or not to go play in the World Baseball Classic. Now, they are also under a lot of pressure at times from their own Major League Baseball team as to whether or not to go. That is a strike taken on the inside corner.
Then you have the case of Albert Pujols or players that have been injured the year before. Case of Vladimir Guerrero, who was not injured but got operated on in the offseason.
Cepeda ground ball. You mean they're actually going to get him out? Yes, they do. The flip made. 1-2-3 inning in the 9th out for Mexico. It's either come back or be gone. Cuba leads it 7-3. And there is the story with only 3 outs remaining for Mexico to keep their World Baseball Classic hopes alive as Cuba's got the 7-3 lead. The loser is out and the winner will move on to take on the loser of the Japan-Korea game to be played tomorrow. Lazo on the mound has done a tremendous job out of the bullpen. Came on in the 5th inning as the starter. Vera went 4 2/3, 2 runs, 3 hits. He struck out 5. Lazo has struck out 6 and has not walked a batter. Gave up the home run to Cantu. The only run off him. And now Mexico's got to find a way with these 3 outs. Risici has gone 0 for 2 and been hit by a pitch. Be tough for Mexico. 2-0 delivery. Missed outside. Lazo's got the bottom third of the order. And they're trying to get a walk here if they can. Three-1 delivery. That one in the air to left field. That ball is hit deep way back. Prisciti's got one. Goodbye home run. But they are solo shots. 7-4. Little personal battle right there, and Prisciti's still looking back at Lazo. Lazo hit him last time he came up, and Priscitti didn't like it, so he drills one.
Well, that's what happened back in the 7th inning. How about now in the 9th? Payback. Took about 10 steps before he even released the bat.
He rubbed it in. Ricci gets the homer. 7-4. Hang on. Bottom of the ninth. Nobody out. Valenzuela on the big cut. 1-1. That shot revs things up a little. What adrenaline might have been going down is now going up on both sides.
Sure.
Slow roller towards third base. Gurriel. One down.
There's 2 home runs in the last 2 innings against Pedro Lazo, and the reaction from his teammates.
But he can't do the other home run. But he knew what that meant to his teammate off Lazo.
And we talked about, for a guy like Persici, this is his big league. This is his World Series.
Yep.
It's great to see that. He'll take that home and ride it for a long time.
Now Miguel, the catcher, Ojeda, fouls that one back. They don't need another home run right here. I mean, sure you do, but you need somebody on base for somebody else to hit a home run at this point.
That's why their runs have come in bunches, because they don't create. They don't work counts very well. They work counts to get pitches to hit.
That's exactly right. Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way towards second base. Oliveira. And there are 2 down in the bottom of the ninth. So Mexico down to their final out. Lazo with a chance to put it away out of the bullpen for his team. Cuba would look to go 4-1. Mexico would be out.
I'd like to point out how great it has been to talk to Vinny Castilla before ball games. How much he understands about managing, how much he understands about delegating, and I'm sure he'll take this moment back and say, you know, I learned a lot and very proud of wearing those colors for his country. The people of Mexico City were tremendous to us. I mean, what a great experience.
Here's Sandoval, who fouls it back. Mexico is trying to regenerate interest in the nation in baseball and get the movement going again down there. Huh?
Oh, soccer is huge.
Yep.
Now we know what sport reigns in Cuba.
Lazo, the high heat. Cuba's ready to celebrate. 0-2, 2 down. Sandoval takes it down low.
Almost seems like everybody in that dugout is ready to steal a base.
Yeah, it does. They're excited. They didn't want to leave. Cepeda's had a 4 RBI ball game. The big blow, that one to short. Position Perret, ball game over as the tag is put on, and Cuba has won it by a score of 7-4, knocking Mexico out of the 09 World Baseball Classic. What a job done by Lazo coming out of the bullpen. Gave up 2 runs. Both of them came on solo home runs. Otherwise didn't walk anybody and struck out 6 in the game.
Brilliant effort by Lazo in picking up his injured teammate. And for Team Mexico, the long way home for some. For some, it's back to summer ball. Others are big league camp. Nonetheless, a painful one for them to lose here in San Diego.
Cuba puts themselves right back in the mix in this elimination ball game by coming away with this victory. Now they will await to face the loser of the Japan-South Korea game that's going to be played tomorrow here. Mexico will just sit and watch for a minute, think about how it went, what might have been. On the mound today, it mattered for Cuba.
Oh, absolutely. Jorge Luis Vera, the veteran, at 37 years old. He was able to neutralize the Mexican bats. No prowess when it comes down to showing offense at all, because Vera was in control all the way to the end when he just couldn't continue because of the painful right leg. And then came Lazo. The Lazo that we know.
Tremendous performance. Lazo showing what he's got right when they needed it most. So Mexico is eliminated. Pedro Laza with a 4 1/3, 2 runs, 4 hits, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. And Mexico 9.57 ERA, 14th among the 16 teams. Despite all the runs they scored and all the home runs they hit, it was not enough. An elimination game tomorrow in Miami, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Puerto Rico and the United States. Venezuela beat Puerto Rico today by a score of 2-0. Venezuela is guaranteed to go on, and the 2 winners here, Japan and South Korea, will face one another in the ball game tomorrow. Cuba wins at 7-4. Gary Thorne, Jose Mota, thank you very much from San Diego.